agree.
And when we whoop enough ass, everybody gonna get in line and do right.
All right. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live and we are ready to fire it up, ready to go. Our topic today is the pathway to becoming a great Black father. Pathway to becoming a great Black father. We want to welcome Twin Pyramid. Peace and blessings, Twin. Glad to see you in the program. And then before we get into our topic, Isaiah, your background. We want to welcome Mac 285 to the program. Peace and blessings. Welcome. All right, all right. And as we were getting into the program, before we get into our topic tonight, Brother Isaiah just let us know that America attacked Russia. And so we are just looking into that to see what the real deal is with that. But if that's the case, then those Russian ships that's in Cuba, I can see them getting some action and the U.S. taking some real hits on the mainland. Cassie, was you able to look at that?
I was just looking up. I haven't seen anything. Let me see. Give me a few minutes. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me see. I see what he's talking about, but I was looking for it on another, on one other news thing.
Right.
I was just trying to verify. So if you want to go on, and I'm gonna just keep looking to see what's what.
Okay. So that is a very real and important topic if America has done such. Because I don't believe Russia is going to allow such to happen.
Oh yeah, you can count on they're not going to allow that.
No, ain't no way.
And if America has done that, it wasn't Biden, because I don't think he is lethargic enough to even say to go to war. But we're not going to win this one if this is the case. America's under judgment. You can't win something if you're under judgment.
Exactly.
So I don't see anything. I'm looking through the thing, but I don't see anything yet.
Okay. I want to welcome MD to the program. Peace and blessings, MD. We're glad you're here. It's very important that we make sure that we source out all information to make sure it's actual facts. Because people can post anything on social media, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the truth. So we're going to dig more into this before we go giving commentary on it. But I know when I think it was back in '63 when Kennedy was dealing with the Russians, and they were trying to get ships and stuff into Cuba to be able to attack America, and they had the standoff. Kennedy and the boys wasn't going to allow that. That was just too close for comfort. And I'm shocked how today's administration would allow Russia to bring ships and submarines so close to the American shore, where, at one time, you can yak all you want because ain't nobody going to shoot you over here because you got all this separation. But now you don't let ships and submarines get to your front, do your damn back door. You can't talk all that yah now because you can be hit, and you can be hit seriously.
That's crazy.
It is. It is. We're living in some.
They really punking out Biden. I mean, I ain't never seen America so weak, and some of the moves that they're making, it just makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. I've never seen anything like it. That's the stupidity, and that's when you've been allowed to become a reprobate mind, and that's what it looks like for America. They are being so judged right now that they're what looks like makes sense to them makes no sense to anybody else. That's how you know that they're on a reprobate mind, when you are doing stupid stuff like Prince in, and now you're getting ready to make them legal. But you don't even know who you're making legal. You have your borders wide open. I just left Panama. I had to go through, I had to show them a passport. I couldn't just go in Panama, I had to prove, you know what I'm saying? I had to let them see some credentials. I couldn't just walk through the gates. But America's letting anybody here. I mean, I have never seen anything like this in my life. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. But I can see them doing something, because election is what in November. I could see them doing something. I was kind of expecting something, but I still don't see that. But I'm gonna still be looking though.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, if you don't mind my saying, there's a lot of uh, talk about the Biden that we are seeing is not the real Biden. He's wearing a mask, and I sent that to you guys. So a lot of,
but they still gonna get rid of him anyway. They're gonna get him.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that what we are seeing just might be a show. You know what I mean? And that this Nestor Aguesser and all of these things that are happening that are involved in that, it goes way beyond a mask. You're right about that, but that's not Biden. If you really take a good look at him, that is not Biden.
But right now, we understand what they're doing. So whether it's Biden or not, you already knew they were going to try something because of the election. They already said that he wasn't going to move forward. They already said that he was going to be dropped from the ticket. They already said that. So my thing is, if you dropped from the ticket, why are we still doing a rebate? You're doing a rebate, or like a debate. I'm sorry, a debate. So why are we doing that? That makes no sense. Something is up. So I'm looking for them to do something. So for me, myself, I'm not going into large crowds because I'm looking for America to do some stuff. Okay, they ain't gonna pull another 9/11. They're already talking about the bird flu. So I'm looking for America to do something creepy from now to November. So you guys just better be careful. Just keep your head on the swivel. If you feel like it's danger, don't go. If you're feeling anything, stay away from huge crowds. Make sure you got your water, because I'm telling you, these next few months is crucial, and a lot of folk gonna die. A lot of folk. It's even been said that they're going to create bombings in different areas. America is to create another 9/11 effect. So I could see them doing that. So I'm just saying, I'm not going in any, like parades and huge crowds and malls and stuff. I'm not doing that.
Exactly. And I know one of the European countries, their president was saying that, they'll be going to war. NATO will be going to war within 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. I don't even think it's going to be that long. Because they really want to go to war, because they want to reset all of this. So to bring a war, that means you're going to have to reset some things. So that's what I see them do. But a lot of people getting ready to die, you guys. I'm telling you, a lot.
Exactly. Isaiah, you wanted to say something?
I forget what the hell you call it? Where you see things in the sky, but it's not real. It's like 3D. What do you call it, Sister Cassie? Brother Muhammad? Damn. You know what I'm talking about.
What, a hologram?
Yeah, that's it. There's going to be a lot of that you will be seeing from, because they got it going on in Saudi Arabia. It's like for entertainment, where you can see whales swimming in the sky, but it's a hologram. But there might be some alien type hologram happening that looks real. And this shit is very well advanced as far as what can be done. So I'm just putting that out there on the table.
Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and Doc will be joining us later on in the program, but we're going to go ahead and get started with the topic tonight. Again, the pathway to becoming a great father. And on our panel tonight, everybody is a parent, and it's good that we're getting a female, a Black woman perspective of being a Black father, the ingredients to make it. Last week, we showed a video where a white dude was raising Black children. And he spoke to the fact of, I'm not raising a Black man, I'm raising a man. I'm going to go and see if I can pull that up so we can have a conversation about that as well, because that's very, very important. Let's see. So, Brother Isaiah, with you as being a Black father, what are some of the key things do you believe that it takes in order to be a great Black father?
Well, I thought about that today, matter of fact. And it kind of struck me as to why I didn't even know what the subject was going to be today. But to me, and as far as my family goes, and the men that I've had that showed a great example, whether they played a part in my upbringing after the death of my father, or just men in general, I've always seen great examples from Mayor Harold Washington to great congressman. I can't remember the light skinned guy out there in Atlanta. I've had a very privileged life because there ain't too many people that can say they had a congressman coming over to eat or the mayor of the city coming over to eat in your parents' home. You know what I mean? So, but with all of that being said, they left an impressionable stamp on my life, especially in the environment in which we're living. And this white matrix of lies and deceit that everyone seemed to be confused, and misdirected, misguided, and all of that. You know what I mean? So the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is that it is very important to honor thy mother and thy father because they are the root of our being and our ancestors of old, going back hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of years, that give us the greatest level of understanding, knowledge, and wisdom about what a family is, what our mother is, what our father is, what a relationship is. And it is complete because when I first heard about and read about and were told about the story of Solomon and Queen of Sheba and the importance of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which were more important than all the money and gems in the world, that left a very impressionable stamp on my life because, I mean, you just cannot get around not knowing. And the only vaccine that you can take against foolishness is wisdom. Against ignorance is knowledge, and against not knowing is knowing or understanding. So I've always been a consummate reader, and teaching that to my kids and seeing them grow, they way beyond their age as far as comprehension. So I'm very happy to see that I am able to give them a good foundation, just like I was given, and not to play with that because you cannot play. You must stand for something or you will fall for anything. And that's the most important thing that I can give them is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and more importantly, common sense, because common sense is not common. And I'll throw it back at you.
All right. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. Sister Cassie, what do you think is a main ingredient on the pathway to have great Black fathers?
I think for me, I think it would be being there, um, making a choice, making it your choice to be there and to do it different. Communication, listening, showing love, being love, discipline, standing, spending time, because I know a lot of men come home and they're fathers, but they don't spend time. They come in and they sit on the couch and the kids come by them and they grouchy, they're mean, and they have a whole lot going on. You got you got your drink, you got your TV, you got your game on, but you're not spending time. You're not listening. You're not, wanting asking those questions that it's going to take to be a father. You just got to be there and be willing to do the work. Keeping Yah first, keeping the Most High first is definitely something that you have to understand, because He's going to direct you and guide you on how to really be that father that you need to be for those children. Okay.
If I may add this, children spell love Time. You hit it right on the head, Sister Cass.
And so when we are looking at time that we're spending with our children, are you considering, or are you saying that there should be this time of, or they out playing the football, they playing the basketball, out doing what some would say, trivial things? Is that what you're referring to?
Absolutely, spending time throwing the basketball, going to see his games, going on the walk, going on a jog, just having some time alone, some father and son time, or daughter and father time. I remember a friend of mine, her husband used to say, "Well, they're girls." She had girls, so he felt like they're girls, so I don't need to spend time with the girls. And I'm like, well, yeah, he does, because he's going to show his girls how or what kind of man to choose. He's going to be there to kind of, that the time that he spends with his daughters, that's really helping her to understand the kind of man she's going to draw to herself. And I see a lot of young girls, and a lot of men, I should say, men that are spanking daughters, and I have an issue with that. And I'm gonna tell you my issue. My issue is when I see a man spanking his daughter, that to me or to that child is letting her know that it's okay for a man to hit her. So my husband, my daughters, their dad would never spank them. And and we had that agreement because it makes her feel like it's okay for a man to beat on her. Okay, so that was the theory with the spanking in my house. Now, it could be different in everybody else's, but I just didn't want my daughters to feel but he didn't have to, he didn't even, he would just raise his voice, and that would hurt my oldest, her feelings. So, some kids, you could just yell or you could look at them crazy. It's just something about a man's presence. I'm just saying, you guys can look at them girls, and I'm telling you, they break down and just melt away, and that's the greatest part about it, because if you have that authority, you have that relationship, she knows what you stand for, she knows how you are, she knows that protection. It's just so different when a young girl has their dad, and even for a young man, it's different knowing a dad is there, because things that he would or she would ordinarily go through without the dad, with the dad being there, they won't even experience that. So yeah, time is everything. If you just sitting there in your presence, but you're not talking, you're not communicating, you're not, going back, you're not asking those personal questions. Hey, son, you're not talking about the sex thing when it's time. He's got to guess how you feeling about, he has questions, but you brush him off. You don't have time. Boy, shut up. I'm watching the game. Where's the pat on the shoulder? Son, I'm proud of you. They need that. That's what's going on. When we see that, the presence of that man back in that home, I guarantee you'll see a whole different community as far as Black folk are concerned. I rest my mic. Can you guys hear me? I mean, Maurice, I can't hear you. Are you talking, Maurice?
Yeah, I can hear you. Isaiah, Brother Isaiah, did you want to add anything?
No, I'm good. I'm here. She hit it on the nail, like always.
I'm going to mute your mic because there's like an interference that come up. So, but when you ready to speak, just mute the seat. Okay.
All right, that might be the fan. Hold on. It's hot as hell in the DR right now. Hold on.
Y'all ain't got no air conditioning?
Don't turn.
Yeah, I'm cheap, son. I am cheap.
Oh my God, you are. Did he say he was cheap?
I
the hell up because you cheap. Oh, I'm not even gonna let that one
Look, you take a spray bottle with a little bit of water in it, and it'll clean you up.
Ooh, you know what? I'm not gonna be bothered with you right now.
There's a fan right there. You see it?
I'm gonna leave that conversation alone. You ain't gonna help me hide up in no house. Some of the dang old fan. How hot air. You ain't doing nothing with that thing.
If y'all ever come here, you be straight.
Oh, I done been to Africa. It's hot, but we still have air.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
You can go jump in the pool and cool yourself out and come back out.
Do you need a foundation or a GoFundMe so you can get some air in your house? We ain't playing that. Please send him some money for some air in your house. And that's what's gonna be hot with you sitting up there damn burning.
Yeah, right. So hot. It's so hot here. You walk out in 30 seconds, you dripping.
You ain't got no air.
It's not eating.
You got a fan blowing hot air.
No, it's amazingly. Listen to me. Amazingly, when the air comes in, it's real cool. So that's why you gotta just sit tight and don't move. And
I'm not messing with you. You got your wife and kids hot as crap over there. Please do a GoFundMe. We are raising money for Isaiah and at least an air unit in the window or something.
That's why we be in the pool, baby. We get out that pool. That's it. You it's all right, but you work it out, But I ain't look. You look the pool. No, wait a minute. Hold on, baby. Hold on. I'm not that with the pool. You gotta have it running. That went up from $80, and we got the pool in. That electric bill is like $400. Do you understand? That ain't no joke. They're like, no, I mean with the pool, it's cool. It's not super cold, not super hot. You know what I mean? And right. So when you get out, when you get out, you burn.
Go ahead with your pool.
I be trying to argue my wife down. We ain't getting no air conditioning. You're gonna have to try to. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Cause that electric bill with that air conditioning running every day. Oh man, that's gonna be like $1,000 a month.
Oh my God.
I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating, but I'm very allergic to spending money.
I see. You're gonna sit there and be hot as hell.
No, I'm not hot. Believe me. I got the fan right here. About 2 feet.
You got the fan on you. What everybody else got on them? They got
we got more than one fan now. We got more than one fan. I wish I could show you my boy. He playing the PlayStation right now. So he got the fan on him, and then my wife's in the bedroom with our other son, and they got the fan on him. They cool. As long as you laying cool, ain't moving. Yeah.
Just don't move. You move, you're in trouble.
That's it. Oh, you sweating up a storm.
See? With no air. With your fan. You got your fan on.
No, what I'm saying is, when you go out here, like it is during the summer, like yesterday and the day before with the humidity, it was like 103. But with the even in the shade, it don't make no damn difference. That's why I like the winter time here because I put on we put on a what do you call it a thick cover, a thick blanket during the winter, and we got people here wearing down coat during the winter.
Y'all ain't got no heat. They ain't got no heat. You ain't got no
They got no heat. They ain't got no air.
No. Wait a minute. It ain't cold. It get down to about maybe 72, and to me that's cold. Cause I done got used to it. At night it get down to about 72, 75. That's cold to me.
You ain't got no heat going in your house.
No, we don't need no heat. It ain't that cold. You know what I mean? Well, I'm all curled up. I'm all curled up with her. You know, trying to get.
He told me he trying to curl up with somebody because he too busy to get a heater.
We work it out though.
I'm done.
We work it out. You know how black folk gonna work it out, baby. We work it out.
But he's after that house for you to work anything out. You ain't doing nothing else in there. That hot. You holding up yourself. I'm just saying. You ain't got no air.
No, well, I ain't got no shame in my game now. See, as my grandmama would say, I would always hold it. She said, grandson, Isaiah always hold a dollar until the eagle holler. Don't let it go now. Yeah, I'm keeping. I'm not, like tearing the toilet paper apart, the 2-ply. I ain't gonna be doing all that now. No, I've seen some people doing that. It's a 2-ply, and they take it apart. Like, what kind of shit is that? I ain't that damn cheap now.
I ain't never heard of that, but you tried it. You would have tried that. That's how you know about that. I ain't tried that one. You need to be quiet out there. You telling too much stuff over there.
I might be telling her, right?
You telling the whole. You need to be quiet over there because I'm telling you. I mean, if I'm putting my own toilet paper, my own air. It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
My stomach hurt. Come on, man.
Oh my God! I your wife, she gonna get another.
Well, that's good for her. That's good for her.
Your eyes gonna close 24 hours. She gonna have.
Yeah, my all kind of air conditioner.
Ooh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm so glad that nigga gone. So I can get
he wouldn't even give you no air. And then try to get busy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Maurice. I'm sorry. Y'all, ooh, that thing right there terrible. Ooh, ain't nobody
I needed that laugh for
it. You need. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. You making me hot thinking about it.
No, you hurt my stomach.
You hurt my stomach. Your cheeks. You're up there burning up. Okay, Maurice, come on. Go ahead.
Oh, brother Isaiah.
Yeah, please go. Please go.
Brother Isaiah, Norma asked Nancy in your background.
Well, I ain't Monte Musa. I ain't got that kind of money. Not yet. Even if I did, I ain't Floyd Mayweather. paying.
That in your background, Isaiah?
Now, you know, he done bought an $18 million watch over there stuck in Dubai, can't get out. He owing $300 million. That nigga ain't got that kind of money. Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, he broke than a motherfucker.
Who is that behind you in your Isaiah? Who is that behind you in your background?
Huh?
What statue is that in your background?
What going on? Oh, that's the picture.
Okay.
Who is it? Is it Mansa Musa?
No. That's an American Indian. What they look like. That's an American Indian.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the statues. But yeah, if I had Mansa Musa, look, I told my wife very plainly, we could have billions of dollars. I'm gonna buy me a Toyota. I don't need no damn Rolls Royce. I don't need no Rolls Royce. What purpose does it pay to have a $300,000 car? For what? You got 4 wheels and a seat in the driver's and
But sound like you buy some air before you buy anything.
Oh yeah, well, okay, well, I probably splurged. I probably splurged. Now, let me get a nickel over a quarter, and I'll buy an air conditioner for y'all, just for y'all. So when we get it, put it into the bedroom where y'all will be, then y'all ain't gonna be having no discussion.
Your wife gonna thank us for this conversation.
But look. I'm very frugal with my money, man. I sent you that. That's frugal to me. That's frugal to me. I ain't got no shame. Look, I shop without 4-hour clothes on TEMU.com. Check it out. I buy my clothes from there.
You bounced all out over there.
I buy my clothes from Shein, SHEIN.com, and I buy my clothes from TEMU. I don't pay no. I don't pay. Look, I never catch my black ass in a Gucci store. I would sell you some clothes for $500. I would not pay no $500 for nobody else's clothes.
But you gonna buy clothes with no air.
No, we got a fan, baby. We good.
That wouldn't be me, honey.
Well, that'd be a whole different circumstance. I'd be like, all right, here's $2. Here's $2. We're gonna go buy some.
Tell me he ain't bad no air. Ooh, okay. I'm off the air. I'm gonna leave that air alone, but I'm gonna tell you, I wouldn't sit up there with
You know damn well I ain't gonna pay I ain't gonna buy no Mercedes. I don't need it. The most expensive car we got is a Murano. That's it. I ain't going over that. And every 3 years. No. Of course he got it. Every 3 or 4 years, once you get up to about 30,000, 40,000 miles, we trade that bad boy in for a new one.
But wait a minute, so she gotta go in the car to get some air.
No, he ain't gotta get. No, you can't stand no car without. You be dead in the motherfucker in 10 minutes. I kid you no. I mean, the heat, right, Cassie? The heat. When we went,
in your car, right?
Yeah, of course.
She gotta go to the car.
Well, but I can't have no air conditioning. I mean, can't have no fan in there. Oh. If I can hook up my fan.
Oh my God! I see you terrible. Where you learned that at?
I learned it from my fan.
Honey.
They weren't cheap now. You know, I had the opportunity to go to the Gucci store because they went to, and what turned me off from Gucci, right? I was so excited about having a Gucci gold buckle belt. 3 months later, that bitch turned green. I said, hell no. that ain't no damn gold. fuck Gucci, fuck Louis Vuitton, all them bitches. I am gonna buy me a belt from what's the name of that store? From well, back then it was Zare, or you know what I mean. It's a belt, motherfucker. It's a belt to keep the pants on, keep the pants up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one more thing about the air.
Yes, ma'am.
You got all the fans hooked up. You could have had some air. So your bill is the same with fans.
No, no, baby girl, no. It's up. It's up. And now with the pool, when you get that air conditioner, it goes up. It goes up. And I hold $1 to the Eagle Hollow on that bitch. I'm telling you.
We see.
I will hold. I'm frugal. I don't want to say cheap because I'm not gonna pay no. I'm not gonna. I like quality. You know what I mean? As long as I can buy me a pair of gym shoes for $30, and if I can without the Nike or Reebok or whatever like that. But if it's quality and I like it and it fits, look, let me take that back. I go to Payless here.
Yeah, but I hear that.
I go to Payless, miss, and pay. Yeah, but
I'm hot.
you're not gonna be high here. I'm gonna make sure y'all very well taken care of. Y'all can be, Mom, we will be out there in the backyard barbecuing with the pool and all that. You'll love it.
Okay.
But the minute you get out the house and go into downtown, you're gonna be wanting to go somewhere where there's air. And I can't take the fan with me now. When I tell you it's hot here.
Oh, I'm sure.
It is hot.
You
Damn,
ain't got no windows open.
No, we got the windows open. No. What it is, at night you can't sleep. You can't have no windows closed up in this bitch. They get too damn hot.
Y'all don't have mosquitoes?
Yeah, we got mosquito, but we got the mosquito. Attract the mosquito and they go in, they die, something like that. But ain't that many. We got more ants than we got mosquitoes.
Ooh, I ain't messing with you.
And we got, what do you call them thing that crawl? The gecko. Yeah, we got gecko.
Oh,
but not
no.
that.
Okay, I remember seeing some of them. Yeah, those little lizard things. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't that much, but it's good.
Lord,
Well, go ahead, brother Murray. My tummy don't recuperate now.
you got you that air.
I needed that laugh. Thank y'all. Not iguana no more. Not iguana. I wish I could show you what it looked like because I don't see one here.
You talking about the little lizard?
Yeah, it's like this. It ain't that big.
Yeah.
Iguana is like this, man. They like.
Yeah, they cute.
Yeah, but it's little lizards, I guess. Yeah. Whatever you call them. But man, y'all had me hollering today, boy. I tell you.
Oh, you have us hollering with your hot self. Okay, Mom.
Go ahead, brother.
Thank you. So I want to go back to Norma X comment where it says, "Peace, family. I always have to ask this question. Why did our ancestors create a story of a fatherless son being raised by his mother to be a warrior? If our ancestors created that story over 8,000 years ago, why can't we emulate it?" Says Cassie.
Brainwashed. We used to be whole families, right? What story is he talking about?
Shaka Zulu, I believe.
I don't know. I don't know much about that. I don't know, but I'm gonna just tell you what my theory is here today. Brainwashing. And they still do it every day. They'll tell you that you can't have your father. They'll tell our young girls that they have to have Section 8, but you can't have a father in the house. But they studied the study of fatherless children. They knew the damage, because in what year was that when the Lennon report, remember? They did a report that showed, what the results is of black folk, black babies growing up without their dads. And you look around you, you see the results. Okay. But it's up to Black folk to change that. It's up to us to rethink, redo, unbrainwash ourselves and do it different. That's our fault. What you see now is not their fault. It's our fault because our pastors, pork chop pastors, didn't teach us. When they saw the plan of the white man taking the men out the homes, did you hear any churches say, hey, this is what the deal is, let's do it different? I didn't hear any churches do that. I didn't hear any churches talk about the plan when they dropped drugs in our neighborhood. It's things that happened that the churches could have said, hey, warning, warning, this is what's going on. We're not doing that. We're going to do it like this. That's not what the church did. So it's a lot of brainwashing going on. And even now in the educational system, they're still brainwashing. But we still don't take our children away from them to do it different, to teach anything different, right? And then when you do, you'll have these charter schools that's still teaching the same stuff. So why would you have a Black charter school and still hook it to the educational system and still not tell something different? It's brainwashing. We don't think it's important. We've gotten so used to our children looking the way they look right now that we don't even think about making a difference. We don't even think about changing anything. That's our fault. But I don't know. Go ahead. Maybe Isaiah has a better answer.
Brother Isaiah, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking about Isaac Horton and Isaac Horton or Set, what Norma we're talking about. But the idea, that's a mythological story, for one. There are a lot of people who get into a situation where their father died, like mine, at an early age. It's not a bad story, it's not a good story. It's a story of overcoming a given situation where you bring forth the necessary mental faculty as a mother would have versus what if a mother dies young. If a mother dies when the child is young, and the father. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm understanding what Norman was talking about, that the idea in regard to me when my father died, I lost a father. That was quite devastating in the way in which he died. And besides that, I was still able, as a neighborhood, as a brotherhood, as a fatherhood, to be involved in that hood. You know what I mean? And at that time, during the 80s, and then the 90s, I had the opportunity to run into a lot of our people who were there, and who made and created an environment for me to see, not only with my eyes, but with my heart and soul and mind, you know what I mean? To overcome anything and everything. And it's not just the physical father that is important, but the whole community. Because in the Black community, you know how it goes. It takes a village to raise a child. So even though Joseph didn't die, even though, I'm sorry, yeah, well, Joseph and Mary and then the baby. Then you got Isaac Horton. That's a whole another way. Yeah, right, Norm. It's a whole way of overcoming and getting at the solution of what it's really all about. So it extends beyond the father into the community, so that we can have a continual and a continuation of the upbringing of our kids. Because I remember when I was coming up, you got your ass whooped by your neighbor, and then you got another ass whooping coming back home. Hey, Doc, coming back home. So that's real, and that's something that we don't have in our neighborhood anymore. And these young kids out here, they just raising themselves basically, and without the principles of being raised. You know what I mean? So you have to be raised with the understanding of integrity and character and frugality and kindness, the virtue, and the importance of staying away from the 7 deadly sins, which can destroy your life. And it really depends on how deep you go into those seven deadly sins. So, it's very important. So, I'll throw it back at you.
All right. Thank you, dear brother. I want to welcome Doc to the program. Peace and blessings, Doc. We're glad you made it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for inviting me.
Most definitely, most definitely. And our topic tonight is the pathway to becoming a great Black father. Norma X raised a question about, let me go back to it.
Yeah, I read the chat.
You read it? Okay.
While I was sitting here, I read the chat. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your thoughts on that? And if I'm correct, Norma X was not talking about Shaka Zulu. I thought that she was talking about Shaka, but she says no. The story in the Bible. But Mary didn't raise Jesus alone because Mary had Joseph. So they were a family. So I don't know of a story, Nama, where in the Bible where the woman raised a young man to be a warrior. I don't know of it. Doc, do you know what story that is?
No.
Yeah. So the premise of the question, can a Black woman raise a son to be a warrior? What's your thoughts on that?
To be a warrior?
Yes, sir.
Off the top of my head, I mean, I would say that there's nothing that Black women can't do. That's kind of number one. But number two, I think that even those, and we come from eclectic families where you not only have actual kin, you have fictive kin, and all of that going on. There's some other factors like Brother Isaiah was talking about. There's some other factors, some other people who plug in, who pour in to children. I don't believe that it's possible for anyone within Black America to raise a sane, stable child, let alone a courageous warrior child, without any external outside influences. So, on the one hand, I don't discount Black women being able to help raise boys, but I do discount anyone within Black America solely independently raising male or female child. I mean, when you look at the rearing of Black girls, it's a very and when we have these discussions, we about fathers, we always focus upon the son, and rarely do we take a gander and a look at what the absence of a father does to a girl child. I'm reminded for some reason right now of Kobe and his relationship with his girls, and how he kind of coined the term "I'm a girl dad." It takes it through, like Isaiah saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and that's been out of all of the cultural retention that we've had, we've kept that. That's kind of the one thing that you'll see amongst persons of African descent, regardless of where you look at them. And I yield, brother.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Doc. And I want to welcome Brother Willie Rivers to the program. Peace and blessings, Brother Willie. We're glad you're here. Norma X, I want to welcome to the program. Peace and blessings. We're glad you're here with us as well. And so we're going to get into the first video for tonight and talk about it and see what we can gain from this. But before I even get there, let me ask the panel this question. Is there a difference in the way a white male would parent their child versus the way a Black male will parent their child, their sons? Is there, their children, period? Is there a difference between the two?
Of course.
Go ahead, Frank.
Of course. Man, look. White folks, I'm going to say this 1,000,000,001 fucking times if necessary. White folks ain't shit. They have no moral, they have no conscience, they have no ability to raise a goddamn thing. They ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn kids in a grown ass man's body and a woman's body. They have no responsibility, so how in the hell can they pass that shit on to their kids? It's the same evil that's being passed on to these bastard ass little children who don't know no better. Because their parents don't know no better. They ain't shit. They have no moral, they have no conscience, they have no upbringing. We civilized these motherfuckers 3 times. And they still don't know what the word civil means. They're not civilized. They just learned how to speak 1,000 years ago. I'm going to repeat that motherfucker one more time. They just learned how to speak 1,000 years ago. That's it. They have no intelligence at all. That's it. They're stupid. They're lame. They prefer to steal, to kill, to blame, to complain. They do all the negative shit. And this is the reason why our world is so fucking upside down right now. People believe that the truth is a lie and the lie is the truth, bad is good, good is bad. It's all because of these stupid pale skins that we call white. We've been living in this motherfucking matrix for the last 150 years, and look where the world is. Turned upside the fuck down. So no, the white man and the white woman don't know how to raise nobody. Period. And that has infiltrated the mind and heart and soul of our own community. Sexy Red and others like her. And the whole industry of music, it has changed the frequency from 432 hertz to, I think, 5/4 something. That's some real shit. When you change the vibration of the fucking music that we created every fucking genre of music. Beethoven was a black guy. Mozart was a black guy. We understood the vibration because 432 is the vibration and frequency of the fucking universe. We ain't stupid. They changed that shit. White folks changed it. We used to have natural cures. Rockefeller changed that shit. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So no, fuck white folks. Stop following their motherfucking funky asses. They are the scum of the fucking earth, according to me. Based on who? Herzl. Theodore Herzl said that shit about his own fucking people. They don't give a fuck about themselves. They don't give a fuck about nobody else but themselves. And they don't even care about themselves. And the fact that we are struggling in this world of the matrix of lies and deceit that has crippled humanity, that has blinded us into this world of the 7 deadly sins, that we can't even imagine a world where how our ancestors lived in peace, not pieces. It is very important to have peace in your mind, heart, and soul, to vibrate at a level of understanding, knowledge, and wisdom that surpasses the normal way of thinking of today. We need to go back home, black man, black woman. That's just it. Because this ain't it. White folks don't know a motherfucking thing. Period. And I'm gonna say this one last time. White folks ain't shit. Because they talk shit, and they talk shit because they ain't shit. Go ahead.
Okay. So you're promising that white folks don't raise children.
They don't know how to raise no damn kids.
Okay. So then let me ask you, you got Ben Franklin, you got all of these.
They ain't shit either. They ain't shit either. All them motherfuckers ain't shit.
But they're successful.
They ain't shit. If they were about Brother Muhammad, we went through this. We know we got the dots, right?
But
Now we got the numbers. This goes no, it ties, but it all ties into it.
okay.
You see what look. Let me explain it to you in this way, because if I don't, people are not going to get it. White folks are psychopaths. All right, that's filtered down into the social strata, in which the normal person is going to act out. And so, if the upper echelons of of America and the world is out of white folk with pedophilia, they don't give a shit about that. They do it. Homosexuality, they do it. And it gets down to the point where it becomes a normal way of doing and being. And this is the reason why a lot of our people on the continent are against this LGBTQ bullshit, because they don't want their kid to be exposed to that. But I am telling you, white folks expose their kids to this shit. I know these motherfuckers, because they ain't shit. I went to school with these bitches and bastards. And probably you did too. And I can guarantee you, they were calling you nigga in your motherfucking head, in their heads, if not out loud. You are a nigga. For as long as your ass is pointing to the ground, the sunshine, the creek don't fucking rise, you will always be nothing to them. Not that it's true, but that is the philosophy of their psychotic, sociopathic mentality that filtered down into the generations upon generations upon generations, now and forevermore. They will never, ever be civilized, and they will always be white. White. And they ain't none of that. Can you imagine if they wake up today and realize they ain't white? They're not European. They come from Dravidian albinos, and we put these motherfuckers in Central Asia. They don't come from Europe. This is bleaked out truck. Hold on. This is my last one. They're troglodyte niggas. That's what the fuck they are. And as soon as we can realize that and understand that, we will have the bigger picture as to how and why they are. They psychopaths. Go ahead.
Okay. So understanding what you're saying, but that didn't answer the question that I'm asking. Because they can be all of these things. But at the end of the day, they run this world. Right? Whether you're over in Europe, they run the world. Whether you're in America, they run it.
But they don't run me.
Their children, they produce their children to go out and take their place. You can look at Heinz. You can run the list of these crackers. But yet, when you look at what their children are doing, they're set up to be successful. So the question is there a difference in between the way white men raise their children than from how black men raise our children?
Let me say this. During the days of Black Wall Street, we had millionaires. White folk was poor. They were rich. They were connected. They were everything that our current situation wants to be. But all of that was robbed from us. It ain't like we don't know what the hell we doing and how it gets done. White folks don't run me. White folks don't run my house. White folks don't educate my kids. It's about action and taking action and making sure that your kids understand the fucking history of these motherfuckers to avoid problems, because that's the fucking situation. We let our kids go to their school and don't even bother to question their education. Oh yeah, George Washington was white. Oh yeah. If it wasn't for white folk ending the Civil War, niggas still be slaves. But that's not true. Oh yeah, King James was white, and he established the 13 colonies. He was black. As soon as we can understand this, Brother Muhammad, that history determines what is going on today. If you don't know the past, how the hell are you going to understand the present and predict the future? We are cut off as a people. We're cut off from our ancestors. As soon as we understand where we were and how we got here, how the fuck we gonna get up out this bitch? Because we are not paying homage to our ancestors. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. And as soon as we can understand that and inculcate all of that honor and prestige and knowledge and wisdom and understanding that our people had, then and now it ain't going nowhere. You just gotta pick up a motherfucking book and start reading and understand and listen to people like you, listen to people like me, listen to people like Sister Cassie, listen to people like Doc, who have a basic understanding of history. Because history is circular. You don't just go somewhere just to be going. And what I'm trying to say, and what you're trying to say, is a world of difference based on how white folk teach. And believe me, evil will always destroy itself in the end of those who partake in it. Always ALWAYS and in always ALLWAYS. We cannot afford to follow these motherfuckers because that's the very reason why we are in the situation we're in. Look at us. Sexy Red and all these other motherfuckers. When you follow evil, it will always consume you. That's what I'm talking about. And these motherfuckers, white folks that we call them today, are nothing but the living embodiment of the devil in human form. Just as we got rid of them in Egypt, just as we got rid of them and killed them out of Egypt and out of Greece and Rome, we are killing them motherfuckers now. And nature doesn't give a fuck about them. The universe doesn't give a fuck about them because it got to be a certain level of vibration. That the universe says love, these motherfuckers ain't about no love. They're about hate. And you can't help but to see that motherfucking shit. They ain't shit because they talk shit. They talk shit because they ain't shit because they come from the anal hole of white bitches. I give no fuck about these motherfuckers. I don't care. The only thing I care about is us and making sure that we are understanding where we come from, why we are here, and where the fuck we going. And kill them motherfuckers on the way. Because they're trying to definitely stop us. Every fucking step of the way. They're trying to do it in our air. They're trying to do it in our food. They're trying to do it in every motherfucking way. You dumb niggas. Just, I got a lot of white friends. There ain't no bad white friends. I got a liberal white friend. He ain't like that. Whoa. Man, fuck you. Take a straw, stick it in your motherfucking ass and drink the cream brown shit out that motherfucker. I give no fuck. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I give no fuck about white folk. Stop it. Nobody cares about these motherfuckers. And as soon as you can stop giving them the oxygen, they'll die. They'll fucking die. Go back. Go ahead.
Thank you, Brother Isaiah. Sister Cassie, maybe you can help with the question that I'm asking.
Isaiah, you better take your blood pressure.
My heart rate is 120 on my watch right now. It'll come down in a minute.
Oh man.
All right, Sister Cassie.
Oh boy. What's the question?
The question is there a difference between the way a white father raised his children and a black father raised his children? Looking at the successfulness of both sides. I'm going to share a screen real quick and just show you an example of what I'm talking about. So you can see what even help with the question that I'm asking. So right here, we're looking at the Bush family, right? This is these crackers here. We're looking at, how they we're looking to see how did their family raise these motherfuckers where you got two presidents, you got a governor, and you got so much shit up in their family tree. Now, you start with James Smith Bush over here, 1825 to 1889. Then you got David Davis Walker, 1840 to 1980. Industry retail. He made his riches as a dry goods wholesaler in St. Louis, Missouri. Over here, ministry, the first in the family to attend Yale. He traveled the country as a Episcopal priest. Okay, and this one right here is Samuel Prescott Bush. He worked his way up to become a wealthy Ohio steel and railroad executive. So you see that there's a list of consecutive accomplishments. So what do you think is the difference of how those white men raised theirs versus the way us black men raise ours?
You know what? You say successful. I don't see them as successful. I see them, they've got a hand up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of areas where black people would have succeeded, like the Patterson, for instance, the first black man that built the car was the Patterson. If you will really look at that story, he couldn't get the support that Ford got. That's the difference. They support their own. Okay. They have the finances to do it. A lot of black-owned businesses would be so successful if we would just support them. We don't support our own. We don't pool our monies together. They pool their monies together. That's the difference. They hand down from generation to generation money. We don't have money like that to hand down. When we do, you can, be a black man and you work a farm. Let's just say, I'm just saying, I know one black guy got so much land, his kids don't want it. So who's he going to do? He's going to sell it off to me and other people because his kids don't want it. So it's not that they have so much. It's the training and the teaching that we're lacking. It's the perseverance. It's the finances for real. You give me reparations. I know what I'm going to do with mine. I'm going to build. Okay. It will never come out of my generation's hands. But you have to begin to understand what generational wealth is. A lot of black folk don't even know where to start to get it. You had a whole city that black folk built, Black Wall Street. And we've had other cities that was very successful. But what happened? They were destroyed. So I'm not even going to call them successful. They are the way they are because they didn't have a whole system set up against them. They set that system up against us to stop us from growing, from becoming, from having generational wealth. We had land. What happened? They took it. We had our own communities. What happened? They burnt it down. We had everything that they had. We were in government held in those positions. What happened in Wilmington? They ran them niggas up out of town, didn't they? And who was holding office? So we've done just, if they would leave us alone, we would be a whole lot better than them. Black Wall Street wasn't no joke back in the day. Them crackers looked over there and said, what them niggas doing over there? Look at them. We was growing. We was moving. We was ahead of them. We was rolling. And what happened? They got jealous and they came down and burned it all down and stole it. So they're not successful. They're nothings. They will never be nothings because if they would leave black folk alone, we'd have overran it. We'd have built it up. But what do we do? Come on, y'all. We always got to invite them over. Stop inviting them people. There's nothing good in them. They will have a perpetual hatred for you. I don't care how they smell. We'll have one friend that'll give us $100 who's white or so-called friend, and we'll call them friend for the rest of your life. But when you really need them, they won't be there because if theirs need them, they're going to go right over there and sell you out. So we have to understand. We call them enemies friends because we don't have a clue. They've convinced you to trust them. They've convinced you to hate your own brother. They've convinced you how not to support your own black businesses. They've convinced you that I'm better than you. How are you better than anybody? You came to kill, steal, and destroy. Whose attributes are those? Those are not godly attributes. person that whose attributes those are, and it's nothing good about him.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand what is successful. We could be just as successful if we would support our own. You take your dollar away from them and see how much money they got this time next year. Take your money away from Walmart and see if Walmart survive. Them crackers don't buy, they don't spend money like that. We keep their economy going. Take your money away from them 6 months and build your and start supporting your own. Start pulling your monies together and watch ours would outdo theirs every time. We've always outdone them. But the only way they keep us down is by keeping that money away from us. Look at what's going on now. Your country has given Ukraine, Afghanistan, Mexican immigrants money. Now the ambassadors are coming, they'll say, oh, hey, we worked hard 5 years ago. Now I'm talking about down the line. They'll say, oh, we worked hard. You ain't did nothing because everything you got was given to you. What you done? What have you done? You ain't built nothing. It was given to you. Give us that same opportunity and watch the smoke. Watch us grow. Because we've done it before. That's why they won't give you a dime now. Because they know half people will be gone out of America or we be building. Because we know how. We know how to build. You got some black folk building businesses. We just won't support them. So they go out of business. Why won't we support our own? Like we support Walmart. Why we support, we support what, Sears, JCP. Why don't we support our own? We support Amazon. Why we don't build our own Amazon? By pulling our monies together.
Mm-hmm.
So I rest my mic.
All right. Thanks, Sister Cassie. Thank you. Doc, what's your thoughts on that?
On them, the way they raise their children?
Yes, versus the way we raise ours.
You know, I think that you need to really take a gander at what is the ultimate outcome that you desire for your children. And if you're looking at it scientifically, that should be sort of like your North Star in regards to what it is that you're building. I believe that white folk and I'm generalizing, but I believe that white folk in general raise their children to be successful, meaning they don't have any governors on them. If you've ever been around them in a restaurant, a buffet, a mall, even, you'll see white children running rampant with no control whatsoever. They don't have any limits put on them very early, and I think that that's the direct opposite of how we raise our children. We raise our children to survive, and from their very entrance in this world, especially black boys, we put up rails for behavior. You can't do that, and a part of us is kind of admitting subconsciously, because white folk won't get you if you do that. Our entire socialization process in this nation for a very long time has been, how do we get this child from point A to, let's say, point P without the police getting their hands on them, without, there's a survival mechanism that's involved in that. And whereas white folk are raising their children without a care in the world about avoiding black folk are structuring their socialization process to pivot off of what white folk could potentially do to those children. So I think that they're raising their children to flourish, to pursue their dreams, because truly, as Paul Mooney would say, they have the complexion for the protection. Black children don't have that. And experience has taught us that regardless of age, and we can go all the way back to Reconstruction when they were arresting black children as young as 5, 6 years old and putting them on chain gangs, had them in Parchman Farm and what have you. Black children are kind of guided on how do you survive? How do you, and what is success for us? Success for us for the average person is to produce a high school graduate, then a college graduate, and then that child goes and makes more money than anyone in their lineage has ever made. And by and large, that's going to be by attaching themselves in one way or another to white folk. You look at this new breed of black billionaires that we have. You can't point to a single one of them. I don't care if you're talking about Jay-Z. I don't care if you're talking about Rihanna, whoever. That wealth has come through their association in one way or another with some white corporation, some white company, some type of sponsorship that's going on. Um, and that's the reason why we can honestly say, and it gets worse when you're talking about NBA, NFL. That's why they're not beholden to us, and they're not able to, and we can't punish them because their money, their richness did not come at our hand, not in a direct manner. But we are the ones that, I agree with Sister Cassie. We're the ones that are. Think about Easter. Black folk to this very day, black folk will go out and get an Easter suit and an Easter dress. You know, other people don't do that, and it's one of the reasons why you find these non-black populations. And when I say non-black, I'm including even diasporic Africans who are not what is their term? American descendants of slavery. If you
Mhm.
listen to some of their rhetoric, all of them in one way or another are referring to us as liquid money. That money just falls through our fingers,
Mm.
and we haven't. We're still in survival mode. We're not looking at life through a lens of someone who can actually do anything for themselves, as if we have agency. Um, and you can really look at that. And there was a show here that we did a couple of months ago, and history and FM studies is my thing. That's my realm of expertise. Brother Isaiah is much more versed in economics and investments and things like that. So when we had, and it was the sister that had come on here, I believe. So when we begin to talk about economics and we talk about those things, um, I got to take a step back because that's Brother Isaiah's wheelhouse. The days of, and this is sort of my what I'm trying to say, we still operate as if the preacher man is the expert in everything within the community. No, we have economists, we have business people, but what we're missing is a rock solid foundation and structure, so that if a person is seeking investments, they should go and talk to someone like Isaiah. If a person is seeking to do a nonprofit, that's Sister Cassie's wheelhouse, versus this general malaise of, well, just save your money and just, this and that. No, we have experts who can advise and have they're able to see down a road much further, because let's, if we can use the analogy of a child, many of us who are trying to, and let's deal with economics, many of us who are trying to get some money, get some wealth, really don't know how to access it. We're like infants entering in that world. Whereas someone like Isaiah is going to be a grizzled veteran who can break down for you, yo, this is what you need to do, and this is what you need to be looking at. You need to boom, 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 boom. So that's what white folk have done. That's why when you look at the Bushes and you see that success, they've gotten every break that one could ever imagine. Okay, they weren't born on third base. They was running home. It is almost theoretically impossible for them to have failed. Okay, look at Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Well, he's a crackhead
Mhm.
and was able to. I mean, come on, he's over in Russia doing deals. And I'll end with this something that he, next to Richard Pryor, he's my favorite comedian. him and Dave Chappelle. Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney says when I get booked for a show and I go to that city, I get there early because I want someone to show me the city. I want to see what the city is like because I'm only going to be there for a short time. But he made this comment. He says, when they're driving me around the city and they take me to a downtown and I see a homeless white person, he said I just start to cry because I think to myself, what a waste of whiteness. And that's in essence what we're talking about is that you have a group of individuals, and I'm not talking about all white folk because all white folk ain't hooked up. They ain't all in that club, but they will get the benefit of the doubt at every turn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But those who are coming from generational wealth, how could you fail? There's no way that you could possibly fail because your daddy, your mama, your daddy is able to pick up the phone and call not only an expert, but able to call someone who has some influence in that region. Remember the white girl? She's in jail right now, right up the road from me, probably about 40 minutes from me. Uh, that ran that Theranos company
Mm-hmm.
that said they could test blood, one drop of blood, and
Mm-hmm.
she had Henry Kissinger
Exactly.
investing in her stuff.
Yes.
As brilliant as connected as we are here, I challenge. How could we get Henry Kissinger on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
It's a relative impossibility.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got the complexion for the protection, you can raise your children, to pursue success and to run roughshod over everyone else. But black folk, we got to be a lot more strategic and careful because if we don't instill some caution within our people, they'll end up dead. And history tells us that. And I yield, brother.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Thanks, Doc. And I want to welcome Earth Angel 1105 Remix. Is glad to see you, Queen. Been missing you. And also, I want to go to Norma X comment because it is very, 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 very relevant. She says, I understand what Brother Muhammad is getting at. For them, every moment is a moment of teaching something. The question is, do we use every moment we spend with our children teaching them something? Or do we let them listen to music instead? And I think that is a great point that Nama is making because every moment has to be that teachable moment. There's a lesson in everything. And for me, I wasn't the type of dad that was out there throwing the football with my boys. I wasn't the type of dad that was out there playing T with my little girls. That wasn't me. I'm the type of dad to sit there. Yeah, you're gonna learn this. Come over here. Let me show you something. That's what I was. And I think that too many of us as Black men, we miss out on that moment to moment teaching. So Doc, why do you agree that most Black men miss out on that moment to moment teaching with our children?
No, when you look at the studies that have been done regarding black men, black husbands' involvement with their children, we're more involved than anyone else. Every study after study has said that black men are present, and black men are more present even um, when they're not within the home. You know, Amazingly, that we spend more time with our children not in the home than white men do with their children inside of the home, inside of their two parent home structure. What you're seeing is quite simply that it's a multi generational system of not knowing what to do in regards to what is the formula for success. These people have the luxury of not having to necessarily plan out their children's lives, because when it's time to make a decision, many of them are so connected that they can play catch up and say, well, I want him to go to Cornell. Well, who we know at Cornell? Okay. Our people have historically not had that. I'm at the situation now, having a PhD, having colleagues who are well positioned at some elite universities. I have a former classmate who is in charge of diversity and recruitment at one of the big Texas schools here. And he told me, he said, listen, if you got one that's good that can boogie with them, send them to me. Full ride, full scholarship, room and board. We're going to pay for everything. That's recent for us. At least it is for me as a first generation college student. Um, our time with our children has to be, a big portion of it is undergirded by that survival mechanism. We have to teach our kids, like, we talked about this, that the most important, we taught our kids have seen us um, talk about fighting and resisting and this and that. And but when it comes to the police and them being stopped, that message that we give them changes to one of, I just need for you to survive. I'll go down there and fight it, but I need for you to survive. That's kind of where we're at. Um, but as far as missing out, the studies say that black men are there more than anyone else. And when you listen to the rhetoric of these gender wars that have been going on, black women today have said, well, look, I'm not going 50-50 on nobody. I blah, 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 blah. And if you listen closely to what they say, they follow that argument up with, my daddy, he paid everything. There's a message in there that if you want to look at it clearly, that black men have been present in one way or another within their families and with their children. And the truth of the matter is how much more could you expect a person to love and cherish their child if they knew the world was out to get them? Okay, there isn't a one of us listening here right now who goes to sleep when their child hasn't gotten home yet. Many of the collegians that I teach and I deal with, they're like, yeah, my parents don't sleep unless I'm inside the house. So we're not missing much. Now, we may not know what to do, what to say, and what have you, where to plug our kids in, but you can't evaluate our product of children against white folk because they have every advantage within their institutions. And I yield, brother.
So, Doc, let me give you a little pushback on there.
Go ahead.
Now, when we're looking at, I don't know, we can look at crime statistics or whatever, or just what's going on in individual cities. Up in Philadelphia, you have black teenagers committing murder like, it's going out of style.
Yeah.
But you don't find, in same city, Philadelphia, you don't find white teenagers being as violent as the black teenagers are. They're not committing the murders that the black teenagers are. They're not shooting their, racial member down at bus stops and at houses and at parties like the black ones are. So the question has to be then, if we're in the houses more and we're doing this more, then why are our black children killing other black children more than white children are killing white children?
But hold on.
Okay, wait.
Let
Let
me
me
just
let
say,
me let
can I?
me let
Well,
me
go ahead.
let me flip that around a little bit. And this is my brother Isaiah. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, this I'm gonna integrate Isaiah to this. Let's take the white editor of the newspaper away and put Isaiah in charge of what makes headline, what's front page. you may very well come up with the understanding that black folk don't even do crime because they extenuate, it's a part of their propaganda that black children are out here wilding out. White kids do
Mhm.
this. White kids will go to a grocery store, stand out in front of that motherfucker, and kill everybody in the parking lot, along with their daddy. But that's not highlighted. And the unfortunate thing for us is quite simply that our children are, and we have to remind ourselves that that's what they are. They've been raised in a system by parents who are, and this goes back to something that you repeatedly heard me say, is that the greatest illness disease within black America is not heart disease, not diabetes, is not any of it, it's mental illness. And when you take okay, let's use a case that you know well. Let's say that your child um, had killed some people drunk driving.
Mhm.
Okay, what are the chances that you could go in front of a judge and say he's too rich to go to jail? He has affluenza. So I don't trust anything that they extenuate and that they write.
Mhm.
It's sensationalism, and in many ways, it serves as a main rail of their propaganda. Because if you're not careful, you'll be scared of black children yourself, and those are our kids. And it we also have to, and I can feel the pull of Cassie land as I say this, that we have to, in every way, socialize and educate our own, and also be very fair and kind of say and kind of realize that so many of these crimes are predicated upon self-esteem issues and property. That's what we're dealing with. I was sitting there watching a 48 hours, the first 48, and it was about four black girls who got into it with another black girl about a guy, and somebody ended up dead. And the girl who did it was gainfully employed, was a very, she was country sounding, but she seemed level headed. But when you break it down, it was a kind of a self esteem moment where she's trying to prove, earn her medal that I am somebody. Look, I'm gonna shoot this chick in the head. I think that we see a lot of that amongst our children, a lot of it.
Mm. Excellent. Thanks, Doc. Sister Cassie, you wanted to jump in?
I do. I want to talk about Wyoming. Okay, let's talk about Wyoming, Montana, Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota. We're not understanding that those kids are doing the same thing. It's not just black kids. They're just not putting a light on it. Because we can go and pull up Minnesota news. You'll see the white child stabbed the white child, and the white child shot up the store, shot up the school, shot up this, that, and the other. They're doing the same thing. They're just not showing you that, but they doing it. They're killing the mamas, they're killing the daddies, they're killing the dogs, they're killing everybody, and they're killing their own because that's who's in their demographics. So they're not. It's not that they're not doing it. You just don't hear about it,
Mm.
but they doing the same thing. Because guess where we learning it from? Them. We learning. We look at our children. They act just like their children now. Why? Because we've allowed them to educate our children for the last how many years? 70? That's a
Mhm.
long time for people that don't like you to educate you. Their whole system is set up to make them look like they're the biggest, baddest, and the saviors of the world. They've
Mhm.
whitewashed everything. Black
Mhm.
folk that we look at in the history books white now. All of them. Well, where the black folk at? Oh, you just slaves. No, we weren't. Let's talk about our true history. Oh no, that's called CRT. You can't talk about that.
Mhm.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, really, really think about it. That if the Republican Party had not pushed on the Hunter Biden thing, I knew he was on some drugs, but hell, I didn't know it was crack.
Who you think left that stuff in the
Okay,
White House?
yeah, I mean, when you really think about how the narrative is shaped, come on, we got a crackhead in the White House. You know,
Oh,
you got.
crackhead.
I mean,
And a pedophile. His bed.
when we really think about who was it? Al Sharpton said this. He was talking about the Bush daughters, how they were, you know, involved in drugs and things like that, and they were trying to pass legislation against aimed at black folk that if you were convicted of like a drug crime or whatever, you couldn't live in public housing, government sponsored housing anymore, Section 8 and what have you. They, you know, they aimed that at us. And Al Sharpton said, I'm gonna warn President Bush about that.
That's
He said
right.
he's gonna fuck around and not be able to live in the White House because he
With
got
the
two
drug
drug
addict
addicts
on
living with him right now. So if we
drugs
don't
and
apply the
and
law,
alcohol.
you
Yep.
know, and that's, you know, you can't trust their narrative and what
No.
they're saying and their talking points. I mean, come on. Look at you know, Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey
Oh God.
Dahmer was from a two-parent household. Jeffrey Dahmer went to Ohio State.
Living in a black neighborhood,
He
eating up
was
everybody.
he was a Buckeye. He had every advantage in the world. That's what they produced. They produced the Dahmer.
That's right.
Okay, now my homeboys that was at
That's
Ohio
right.
State, you know, they smoke a little weed here and there, but they ain't never munch on nobody.
We ain't eating folk.
You know, and so I think that the angle in the discussion of why are black kids doing this, it's not a black problem. It's a poverty problem. It's an American problem because people don't live like this around the globe. And that's why travel is so important. People don't live like this. Now you got some sections wherever you want to go where there might be some crime, some this, some that. You know, look at Aruba. They got that damn what was his name? Jordan Vandersloot. He's a damn he in paradise. He a serial killer. But you don't see that linkage of, you know, it's kind of like black businesses, how black folk don't support black businesses. You let a black person go to a McDonald's and they mess their food up. Let's say the McDonald's was on Main Street. A couple weeks later, somebody's like, yo, I feel like some McDonald's. Okay, yo, let's go. But don't go to that one on Main. Go to the one over there on 14th. Now it's the same franchise, probably owned by the same person. Let a black restaurant not have exemplary service and great food. We turn, and this is a part of our psychosis, we turn around and say, that's why I don't fuck with black businesses.
Yep.
It's a self-hatred there.
Yep.
And the idea that it's just black children out here killing folk and what have you. We live in these communities. We know that it's happening. But the idea that it's just them is kind of coming out the same vein that, we can believe it. It's sort of like a single mother who, and I'm not saying this about all single mothers, but a single mother who ain't shit. Okay. And have been horrible to the father. And the father then pushed the father completely out of the equation. But then she can go somewhere and say, yeah, because you know his daddy ain't shit. That's believable because you're already set up to believe that black fathers ain't shit, that black children are violent. Now, some of them off the hook. Okay, I ain't excusing them. We always got our outliers. Okay, but a general narrative of that, nah.
All right, excellent. All right, anybody else want to comment on that before we go to our first video? Everybody's good? All right, well, let's go to our first
Hold on, Blair.
God damn.
You know, I'm my 2 cents in. We ain't got a lot of time, but just give me a minute. Go to WhatsApp and play this video right quick. It's the last one on your WhatsApp player. And while we're waiting, look, you got to understand. I sent this video to you about Angola under the thumb of the Dutch. On Portugal, they might be Dutch, I don't know, but Portugal for 300 years, and they turned it around and made Portugal their playground. You talking about the daughter of the president of Angola? I can't think of the name. I can see it. a beautiful girl, man, and the father and all of this. But what happened was that they took it upon themselves to know that they have the power, economic power, to make a difference and make a change to what was happening. And now Portugal is their playground. They forced the rules to be changed to their favor, to the elite of Angola. And so now, if they want to have a law change, they're going to change that motherfucker, because now Angola is the creditor of Portugal. So what I'm trying to say is that, and like we've always said on this show, money talk, bullshit walk. I don't give a fuck what they call me. They can call me a nigger. They can call me spook. They can call me what other kind of derogatory black names they come up with, pork monkey, whatever. I give no fucks. We shouldn't care about that bullshit. But we should care about power. Economic power influences political power, that influences the social dynamic. And so when the Angolans go to Portugal, they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it, because they are dictating to the Portuguese what the fuck is going on. Were you able to dig it up, Brother Muhammad?
Yeah, the one on Section 8.
Yeah, Section 8. Well, please play it.
All right. Mute your mic.
Okay.
I've been a Section 8 investor for 10 years, and I'm telling you the vast majority are Caucasians. Now I want to tell you how some of these folks had access to millions in assets, but were still qualifying for government assistance. About 8 years ago, my mentor was trying to teach me about trust and trust structure. And he started sharing information on some of his friends that have been gaming the system all these years. Just by moving all these assets into the trust, they had no income and no assets on paper. So therefore, they can start qualifying for whatever they needed. Section 8, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, you name it. But then he really blew my mind, because these parents that had put all their assets into a trust, now when it was time for their kids to go to college, guess what? Now they qualify for student loans, grants, Pell Grants, things of that nature. Instead of the parents having to pay the full ride for school, financial aid paid half, student loans paid the other half. But guess what? Since that student was still a beneficiary, the trust actually paid for the student loan portion.
You heard that? They game in the system, man. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's not nothing illegal about that. So what I'm trying to say is that we as a people in America, we got to wake up and play the game to win. You ain't playing the game to win, you're playing the game to lose. And white folk, I'm not saying we got to cheat, but the white folk have been gaming the system for a very long time. They're the worst offenders of Section 8. They're the worst offenders of WIC, whatever, the SNAP. They're the worst offenders of crime of every type. The only crime that I know of that we beat them in is larceny, and we ain't beating them by that much. And there's no accountability with these motherfuckers. None. They commit the worst crime and get away with it. The one that I know of, a very famous rich people and family. What's the name of that damn family? It's up there in the Northeast. The paint family. They create paint.
DuPont.
But yes, thank you. So the son of the DuPont, his great-great-grandson, raped his daughter and didn't go to jail. You understand what I'm telling you? Oh, well, we can't send him to jail because that'd be too hard for him. And the white boy who raped this girl behind the dumpster in the alley in California, affluenza. As Doc was talking about. They get away, if the justice system was fair, and they can give a shit about what your name is and where you come from, how much money you are, and what connection, 90% of the motherfucking jail would be filled up. And the only reason why it's filled up now is because of the intent and the actual action that were taken against the black community to not only break the family down from the two-parent home to one-parent home, and not only that, with the crack and with the guns and all of that was happening, we have a flood of black folks in jail. But before 1965, 90% of the fucking jail were white. So yes, it makes a very important point. Money talk bullshit, well, but you got to play the game, baby. And we're gonna see, and we are seeing more billionaires coming out of Africa now than ever before, even in America now, because we have an understanding of where the money is at. Somebody asked a bank robber why they robbed the bank, because that's where the money is at. Stock market, there's only three ways to make money: real estate, starting your own business, and the stock market, and its associated with commodity futures, options, and all of that. So we got to know how to play the game and where the game is being played and how money is made. Now, I've been blessed, and I'm blessing a lot of people because it's been passed on to me, and I got a duty to make sure that people understand the stock market, because that's how I will make my money. All right. Such a guy can make like real estate. I'm not a real estate guy. When you buy a piece of property today, you can't tell that motherfucker tomorrow. You know what I mean? I like having liquidity, and like Doc was saying, you gotta have, and this brother in the video, you gotta understand. You gotta have the understanding of what it means to bypass the laws of the income tax, which is not really a tax at all. It's not illegitimate, but people pay it. But forget about all of that. You have to understand what trusts are and how to use them. A good book to read, The Rich and the Super Rich. I don't know if it's available that you can buy it, but if you don't know, buy that book. If you want to have the mindset of a billionaire, millionaire, whatever, you got to buy that book. The Rich and the Super Rich. It tells you, it gives you the roadmap to wealth. I rest my case.
All right. Thank you for that, Isaiah. I want to welcome Mayat to the program. Peace and blessings, Queen. We're glad that you're here. I want to welcome Brother Bakari to the program. Peace and blessings, Big Bro. Glad you're here. And yes, sir, we're still talking about Black fathers. We're about to move into our first video. So let me set this up. Brother Isaiah, mute your mic. Oh, you already muted. Good job. Good job.
And God said, let us make man in our image and likeness. That means that every human being that is a descendant of Adam is in the likeness and image of the God who caused this to come into existence. So if we are in the image, this is a biblical expression now, if we're in the image and the likeness of God, that means that in the genes, you have the potential not only for self-mastery, but you have the potential to become master of the universe. I want to say that again, and I want you to listen. You can't be made in the image and likeness of a God whose attributes are the most excellent and then accept mediocrity. There is no mediocrity in your creator. So mediocrity is in you because you have been programmed diametrically opposed to your genetic possibilities. You are not living up to what is in your genetic makeup. Come on now, let's talk now about what a father is. It haven't got nothing to do with a male organ and sperm emitted with people screaming and hollering. It has everything to do with the cultivation of your intelligence. A stupid, ignorant clown and buffoon can have children but will never be a father. And a silly, irresponsible woman can have children but she'll never be a mother. And the sad thing is, you can go to school and learn how to be a doctor. You can learn how to be a lawyer and accountant. You can learn how to play basketball, football, and build on your natural talent. But there is no school, none, to teach you the most important aspect of life itself, motherhood and fatherhood. The very word motherhood, fatherhood. A hood is that which covers the head. And in order to be a father, there has to be a certain knowledge that covers your head. In order to be a mother, there's a certain knowledge that must cover your brains. And you can't get that watching as the world turns or the general hospital or one life to live.
All right. So let's come back and talk about this here. So we heard what the minister said. Sister Cassie, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on what he said? And if there's anything that you think is not right or needs to be adjusted, what would that be?
I agree totally with what he said. I think it has to be a choice as far as if this is something you want to do. Some people, generational wise, okay, if their dad wasn't there, they choose not to be there for their children. Okay, that's a choice. Some people whose dad was there and they still not there for theirs. So again, it's a choice if this is something you want to do. Because until the black father, and I'm just talking about black folk, I don't give a damn what everybody else do, but until that black father gets back in that home is tore up. It'll never come back together. It'll never come back right. That head has got to be there. You can't walk around your body without a head. You got to have a head. And if you have your toe up here and your head, it's out of order. It's going to be dysfunctional. No matter what the woman do, I don't care what nobody say. We cannot teach our boys how to be men. They have to have that example. We're not that example for them. We're not. I know some people say we cannot. How can I? I can't teach him how to be a provider. I can't teach him I can't even stand up and teach him how to pee. I'm just saying. It takes a mentor, another man to teach him how to think. And it's stuff that happens in a boy's body I don't even know about. So what can I tell him? I don't know what, I hear, but I don't have boys. And I didn't raise one. So I have no idea what a young man goes through in his body. Stage this, stage 2, stage 3. I have no idea. So what can I tell him? But until, and the sad thing about it is society study black families and look at the result. I heard Doc say that, statistically, it was more black fathers in the home. I need to see that. I need to see it. I know statistically what it says, but I'm looking at our black boys. I see more girls. I see more fags than anything else. I see more boys sucking. I'm just saying, I can't tell a young man now from a girl. You look at the girl and he walking like her. He dressing like her, got a tube top on. What the hell are we doing? Right. I need to see that black father was in that home. Was he there, but he didn't participate? Or was he there, but he still didn't give that son that love that he needed? Was he there and he didn't teach him how to build entrepreneurship? Did you learn his gifts? Are you teaching him how to operate in his gifts? Are you teaching him entrepreneurship, to buy land, sell land? What were you doing there? So yes, it's about throwing a ball, but it's also about him building. Teach him how to build, how to pay his bills on time, how to build credit. All of that's important. How to change a tire. You have little boys now who don't even know how to change a tire. So I agree totally. with the Honorable Farrakhan. I totally agree.
Let let me ask you this, Sister Cassie. Since the minister said that there's a connection between the God and us and the children, and you agree with that connection.
Absolutely.
But when you are in, say, like, you got some black people that go to a white church, is that God that they serve at the white church the same God that you serve at your black home, same God that you find in the black church? Is that the same God, or is there a different God?
It's a total different God. We don't serve the same God they serve. But a lot of black folk don't know that. Because he said, I made you in my image. I don't look white. But a lot of black folk don't even believe that he's black. And they'll tell you, I don't believe in color. What's color got to do with it? That's what's wrong with you. That's why your house jacked up. That's why your family jacked up. That's why your son's sucking other folks. Okay? This is what's going on when you don't have that order. You have to understand and have to know who and whose you are. You have to know your foundation. He said, pass the history down. We're not passing it down to our children. We're not teaching our children that God is our God is black. To them, he's still a white man. Because you look at a lot of 80% of black homes, you see a white Jesus on it's still on the cross. Okay, that's idolatry. People don't know that, but people don't care either. Because now people doing what they want to do. They're not even. Some people don't even have a connection to God, and trying to run a successful family. That's impossible. You gotta have. It's got to be straight up, and it's got to be this way first. Then it's this way. You got to have that order. Where's the order? If you don't have order, you have dysfunction. And if you don't have a relationship with a universe, something, what do you have? It's incomplete because you're still missing something. What are you passing down to your children? That he's a white God? We totally serve two totally different gods. Not even the same anything. Because our God, their God to tell us to forgive. Now, my God said, now for now. You pluck man, I'm coming. I'm just saying, that's a different belief system.
So then with a different belief system, a different God, can they produce a child that would be successful, that would be great for our people?
Not if you, I know if you're under a white, are you under a white God, under a white church, under a white pastor, a white this, that, and the other? No, you're not going to be for your people because they're not teaching you to be for your people. If you come to my black school, my black training, because it's not about religion, it's about relationship, then I'm going to teach you how to become that black leader, that black mother, that black father. It's going to be more well-rounded. They can't teach you. They have no revelation. What are they going to teach you? They're not going to teach you how to build for your community. They're going to teach you how to build for everybody. No. Come on over here. Let me teach you how to build in Cassie land. Let me teach you how to build in black folk land, black folk community, black folk building, black folk on home ownership, black folk community. That's what we have to concentrate on right now. We got too many black folk and they all over the place. You're doing for everybody but yourself now. I heard more people crying out for Palestine than the Congo. Tell me why. Tell me why. Because you under them white folk. Because white folk didn't mention Congo. Because white folk mentioned Palestine. I don't give a damn about Palestine. Because you see how they treat their black folk over there. If it's not a black country, the hell with it. I don't care. Let's concentrate on us building our kingdoms, our communities, our foundations. That's the only way it's going to work.
Can you point out a black person that successful, but yet they're under the auspices of this white God as an example of what not to be?
Successful, but under a white God?
Yes.
You have a whole lot of black pastors. I remember Fred Price. Let's go there.
Okay.
You said, okay, let's go there. Okay, Fred Price. He was talking about, they was forever talking about a white God, right? That's all they knew until later he changed. But we have to understand, let's get back to the basics. Then he started to regroup and they took him off the air. Long as he was preaching white. When he started preaching about that black God, that black Jesus, what happened? They took him off the air. He was successful, but I believe that if he had a, why not start it? Why not start it? Why not teach that in the beginning? Why not understand who you are first before you come out and start trying to explain or talk about, our culture? How do you change it in the middle? You understand what I'm saying?
Interesting.
I'm just that was one off the top of my head. I'm sure it's more, but I'm just thinking of that one that, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. We just got a lot going on. I don't know. I'll rest my mic.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Cassie. Fred Price is a good example, though. Good example. Brother Isaiah, what say you?
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
What you gonna say, Isaiah? Come
Lord
on,
help us.
I'm gonna mute my mic for a minute. No, go ahead.
No, I'm good. We're good. You know what I mean? It's going to be what it's going to be. You know what I mean? We come this far. We can't turn around and not keep moving forward, because it'll be a slap in the face of our ancestors and everything else. You know what I mean? But if history bears itself out, there will be no end and no stopping of us individually and collectively where we want to go. The will of our people is just that great. And where there's a will, there's a way. And I firmly believe that there is nothing and no one that's going to stop us from where we want to be. It's written in the sand of time. It is the very essence of our being that is being manifested in the world in which we live. I can't make it no more plain than that. You know what I mean? It's just a manifesting of our desires, and we are the very essence of our ancestors. No matter how bad it may look, no matter how bad it may seem, we're gonna make a way out of no way, and we're gonna turn this bitch around. Get back on the horses of our ancestors and ride that bitch till the wheel or legs fall off that bitch. You know what I mean? There's just no way we're going to not do it. It is within us. And I strongly believe that our ancestors are coming to the fore within our own mindset, that a lot of us are just waking up to what that is. Because if we don't, and we continue to follow these demonic, satanic demons we call white folk, that's going to be it. So the only way and the only people that can save this earth, this planet, America, and the world is black folk. Ain't nobody else. Black folk. Everybody's sitting at the table of Africa eating well. Our mother, the continent of Africa, is feeding all of these children of her. And ain't even nowhere near the tip of the iceberg as far as the resources go that is so-called being depleted. There ain't no motherfucking way you can deplete. You know what I mean? They talk about oil, and we're losing oil, and if we don't be careful, we're going to see $300 barrel of oil. That's not true. Fossil fuel is a game they playing. The oil in the ground regenerates itself. So we got to be careful about that too. What are we believing in? Why are we believing in it? What can we do to question what's being told? Is there another narrative that's more true or is true? So with all that being said, I believe in my people and our people. We're gonna overcome the overcome, and we're gonna be what we're gonna be, and it is within our dynamic to be kings and queens of this world. You get his ass with now, so you can probably hear that. But yeah, it's gonna be Kaiser. Kaiser, yeah. To my mind, no die. So it's gonna be Kaiser. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I rest my mic. I'm gonna shut it down.
Thank you, Brother Isaiah. Doc, what say you?
You know, it's darn near impossible to constructively critique Minister Farrakhan. It's actually kind of frightening to think that you can. Um, he's right. He's right as always. I mean, the idea that we were made within the image of God, and to accept something that is lesser than excellence is should be considered a mortal sin. But that's a message that is not preached from many pulpits. You know, I can tell you, I've heard Pastor Ralph Douglas West down here in Houston, Church Without Walls. I've heard Pastor West preach about that.
Mhm.
But by and large, you know, it's few and far between. And I might be a little biased because if it's not a progressive pro-black word that's emanating from the preacher's mouth, I don't attend.
Mhm.
And that's just how I am. You know, I've had the privilege to be under Reverend Dr. Johnny R. Heckert and now Ralph Douglas West, and they're both very pro-black, progressive
Mhm.
black men who, if you push them too far, they'll let you know. And I'll just share this story to kind of give you some background on Pastor West. There is no walking when the doors of the church are open. He tells people, they put it on the big screen, you know, no walking allowed. People continue to walk as if nothing had changed. Then he got up and went to the mic and he said, "Look, you in that big of a hurry? I hope you get in an accident when you get in your car in the parking lot. I hope
Mhm.
you crash your car and slam the mic down." You know, so
Mhm.
that's from whence I come. That's the
Mhm.
preaching that I'm used to. I'm not used to this huckabuck,
Mhm.
you know, not saying nothing but being theatrical type of preaching. So I agree with Minister Farrakhan wholeheartedly.
So Doc, let me give you a little pushback. Why do you think it's something that's not being taught in the majority of black churches?
Well, one of the, you know, I would like to say it's because that they went to white theological institutions, what have you. But I think that it's deeper than that because both of the black men that I just talked about
Mhm.
are, you know, products. They went there and they studied there. They're hermeneutically sound. What I really do believe that it is that these men have sat under what people would refer to as revolutionary or radical pastors,
Mhm.
black liberation theology. Um, when Ralph Lawson, Reverend Lawson, used to go on vacation, I used to go to his church. Um, the pastor who came and preached for 6 weeks, his name was Jeremiah Wright, and
Mhm.
so you see these men who are, let's just call them what they are. They're black liberation theologians who understand that the first rule of good speech giving is to know your audience, and they're speaking in front of black folk. You know, there's something very interesting about the very breath of God, and it is quite simply that it's packed with truth. And our men of God have to be compelled to have to feel as if there's no option, no substitute for crafting a Black liberation theology. And I'm talking about a brother that you talked about, that you loved, Albert Cleach. Okay, Shrine of the Black Madonna. So we need, in many ways, a supplement to going to theology school, and have that supplement be coming from those who are Black Powerites, preachers. To understand that it's one thing to talk about the three Hebrew boys who were in the fiery furnace. Um, you need to relate that to Black folk suffering. Um, it has to be liberation. Liberating theology. If it's not, what the hell are you doing there? Because you're not being fed. And that's just what it comes down to. So we need a individual, and I would imagine that he does do this, because what are the questions that somebody asked me after listening to you? They said, "Hey man, do them brothers go to is it like a Muslim school where they all learn to speak like Farrakhan?" And I'm like, no, but the cadence is in many ways like you find a lot of Baptist preachers do their cadence. You guys have a similar cadence as well, but they sound like Minister Farrakhan content wise, because that's in many ways, and it's a beautiful thing. That's all they know. And we've come up with what could be considered, and we talked about this on another show, the idea of manufacturing consent. We should be reading the same things. We should be listening to the same things, and what have you. Our children should know John Coltrane before they know Sexy Red. Okay, those are just something to say for building a hedge around the minds of your most precious asset, and that being your children. Now,
Definitely. Well, let me ask you one more question, Doc, and it's the same question I asked Sister Cassie. Because you talked about the Black liberation theology. Now, the Black liberation theology is not taught in white churches, correct?
Do you think that white power will be taught in the educational system at Cassie Land?
Definitely not.
I mean, you're answering your own, but it's kind of like, what is the outlook? What is the outcome that you want? And that's what you preach to. What is the outcome that I want? I want, some Black Powerite thinking students. So I teach towards that goal. So no, they're never going to cut off their nose to spite their face. These you have to remember that for many of them, and this ties into how self-advantageous you'll find that community to be, and I would actually tell Black folk to be just as self-advantageous as white folk, and as even the Jews are. You have to really think that even during the abolitionist movement, William Lloyd Garrison and all of them, and they're fighting against slavery and what have you, it was not due to a belief that Black folk were equal to them. They had a vested interest in freeing Black folk, and that vested interest was said by one abolitionist, and he said quite simply, if God is just, and I believe that he is, we'll burn in hell for this shit. So they're willing to end it because it will benefit them in a roundabout way, that they will get eternal life. There's always, and there should always be, an element of self-advantageousness. It has to be in what you choose to read. It should be in what store you go to. Where do you shop? Where do you circulate your dollar? If you don't understand that where you buy your fried chicken at is not a political is a political decision, then I feel bad for you. I really do.
So, Doc, can you give us an example of somebody that a public figure, Black public figure, that has been under the white theology that you can point to as an example of what the white theology can help make you?
Yeah, yeah. What's the brother's name that was cheating on his wife? John Gray.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
John Gray was right over here at Joel Osteen's church, whatever the name of that church is. You know,
that's
John Gray.
where he go now.
Huh? That's where
That's
he
where
came up
John
at.
Gray go.
That's where he came up at. Yeah. He was over there
Really? I
with
didn't know
Joel
that.
Osteen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I mean, when you
Wow.
look at there's a decision that one has to make, and it's the decision that Dr. King made. Dr. King believed that Christian good, that God's goodness would eventually triumph over evil. And people who think that tend to approach it with, we're all children of God. We're all within the body of Christ and what have you. However, I think it was these white Christians trying to blow up his damn house with his wife and kids in it that caused them to say, hey, they
Mm,
still got some stuff that they need to deal with. And
hmm
a very good argument could be made that, and this is what I say about Trump and his children, that I don't feel sorry for them, but I do
hmm
recognize that they're undeveloped human beings. They don't have they haven't had a full range of experiences in life. And therefore the idea of being empathetic and concerned about other folk, they can't do it. They can't understand it because they've never experienced it. Sister Cassie talking about these prosperity preachers. Um, they've never they've never been hungry. They never had to really rely upon God, because until your back is against the wall and you know that there ain't no way out, and that you have to have faith in God, as you've been told this entire time, um, and God intercedes in one way or another. Do you really trust Him, or is He just a idea that you
mm,
have? There was a brother who, I was living in Columbus, Ohio, and I seen a brother around my apartment complex, for a couple of days and what have you. Knew he had some kids and what have you. And I go to Big Bear. Big Bear is like a Kroger's in Columbus, Ohio. It's a grocery store chain. And I see the brother there. I acknowledge the brother, and he had I still can see it. He had a pack of hot dogs and some bread, but he had a full cart. And I'm like, damn, that's peculiar looking right there, And I spoke to him, and he was like, hey, he said, yeah, I'm counting on God, to do a miracle for me, man. He said, my kids are hungry, this and that. And now I'm not trying to say that I'm God's miracle, but
Right.
God placed me right there at that moment. And I've learned through the Social Security system, because I'm old now, and I'm looking at the end. Okay, how
hmm
much am I gonna get between my pension and Social Security? Because unlike Brother Isaiah, I need mines. Okay, they gonna have to run mine. That money is counted on by several members of my family, who have told me
hmm
you can't retire until you 70, because look here, you get an $800 bump if you keep working past 67. Got to
mm,
keep you healthy. But I went and I told the brother, I said, man, come on, man, let's just go ahead and get, you know get what y'all need. And he was just grabbing one thing or two things, and I'm like, yo, bro, that's what y'all need. And he was like, yeah. I said, okay, what do the kids want? He said, oh,
mm.
that's something different. And we went through. I must have spent $200-300 on that brother right there, and
Wow.
gave him a ride home, and his kids came out and got all the groceries. And he's very moved and what have you. But I had no choice but to do that. you know, because I've been without, I've been homeless, I've been hungry, I've been, you know, and it's like without that experience, without that wide range of emotion, um, yo, you're not a fully grown human being. And one of the things that I can say, just as we talk about being born with a revolutionary heart, I would venture to guess, and I think that there might be three people on the screen who would deny this publicly, but I believe that privately, if they saw even a white person who was, you know, with children in a store or whatever, that there's something that tugs within your heart that says, "Yo, I'm gonna have to, you know, I might give him $5. I might give him $10." Y'all shaking your head right now, but for me,
Hell
it,
to the no. Sorry.
for
Hell to the
me,
no.
for
I don't
me,
give a
it's
damn if they starve to death. Period.
see for
I'm the
me.
one.
See, I
You
don't have
already
that.
know I'm the one, and I'm gonna say it. Hell
I
to
don't
the
have
no,
that.
because if it was you, they wouldn't give your black ass nothing.
Yeah, but
I'm
see
just
that
saying
that's
no.
the see, and I
Praise
recognize
God
that,
for
but
that.
that's the part of me that makes me now if it's a choice now, you know, because we got a lot of panhandlers here in Houston. If it's a choice, I'm always hit the brother off, okay, before I hit other folk off. But if I'm moved to do it, like I was with that brother, and you know, and it's tied all the way up into my upbringing and my belief that that you know it'll eventually make its way back to you. I had to help the brother out. I just had to. I had no option. If I
Doc,
had the
can I
money,
ask you something?
go ahead.
Is that Christianity belief?
Say that again.
Is that Christianity belief?
No, you know what it actually is I remember this moment as a child. My mother was very philanthropic, and she would give and when I think back on it, it was black folk that she would give money to. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember saying, "Oh, why you giving people all our money?" And she said, "Listen, I got brothers throughout this entire nation. My uncles have always been wayward. You know, we got a bank robber in there. We got all kind of stuff. We got a con man in there." Um, and she said, "I would like to think that me putting a little bit of money in this person's hand, that somehow someone would do something and look out for my brothers." And that's kind of it's not a Christian thing. I'm not a don't tell Pastor Weston, you know, because I'm not officially a member. I just go and
So you can do what you want when you want
yeah,
to.
yeah, I get the word, you know, and when the collection plate come around, I do put a little something in it, but I'm not no tither. You know what I'm saying? And the idea
Now
that
you know you on the no,
that
not being
you
a
know to
tither, bro. You know you're supposed to be a tither.
join the church, you know, that I had to show on my W-2. I was like, whoa. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna be, you know, I'm gonna give.
that's
The
crazy.
Lord, you know, the Lord know my heart, you know, but so no, it doesn't come from I'm not one of those that has this blind faith that, you know, I'm working class. So the black
And
man.
And the reason I asked you about that Christian
Uh,
thing was because when you said about the white family, my thing is there's no reason for them to be on the corner. There's no reason for them to be homeless. Ain't no reason for nothing because they can get when we cannot. So when they're on the corner, I look the other way because that's not my brother. Period.
yeah, yeah,
Those are not brothers to me. And
yeah.
those
I
little
mean,
demons right there, they grow up to be just like the mammies and the pappies. So no,
yeah.
I'm
See,
not giving them. They can starve to death.
yeah,
But
see,
for my
yeah,
brother, if I see you and I have a nug or tug for them, oh, I got them. You know, if I see where they short, but I don't give a damn if them look.
yeah. I mean,
I can see them drown. I can see them drowning. I'm gonna walk past them. That's
yeah.
one less
See,
that I have to worry about, and my grandbabies and my lineage got to worry
I
about
mean,
because
I
we've had enough.
I hear that, but what I'll say is this: that as a person who I come from what I term an authentic black family, and addictions have been kind of our curse.
Mm-hmm,
Um, I hate to see people going out because they're compelled to do it, and I'm talking about black folk
mm-hmm.
uh, through an addiction or whatever. They can't fight going and doing harm to someone else, breaking in their house or what have you. I'll always try to sort of, maybe God's using me as a tool to protect someone by giving this fool $5, $10 so we can go get him a fix or what have you. I've gotten addicted to these stupid YouTube videos. I don't know if you watch the Ring camera, the stranger stuff you'll see on the Ring camera. And there was a brother who walked up on these people's porch, clearly got a crowbar in his hand, rings the doorbell, and the guy's voice coming, and he was like, "Yeah, what can I do for you?" And they have a an interaction, two, three different going back and forth. And the brother with the crowbar said, he was like, "Yo, you want your grass cut?" He was like, "Nah, I don't need my grass cut." He said, "Hey, you ain't even here, are you?" He
I
said,
see that.
he said, this is one of them security cameras, ain't it? He said, "No, man, I'm home." He said, "If you home, come to the front door." He said, "If you can't come to this front door, I'm gonna have to use this crowbar to go up in your house and get what I need." He said, I got a need." He said, I hate to have to go up in here on you and get what I need." He said, you ain't at home. So, a part of it for me is people, it's gonna be good times and bad times. And I would hate for somebody to go and do some harm, and I could have spared that money and made them make a different choice, help them make a different choice.
Wow, interesting, very interesting. All right, we're gonna go check out one more video before we shut down for tonight. Let's see.
First level. But every one of us as men, once you start having babies, what kind of environment did you bring them in? Well, my home is peaceful. My home is nice. My home is a God-fearing home. Praise God. What's happening next door? What's happening across the street? What's happening in the playground where your son or your daughter got to go and play? What's happening in the school? Don't tell me you're a good father and you don't have any community interest, no community concern. Because once you provide a child with life, then you got to look at all aspects of life and become intimately involved with the development and nurturing of that. A father is not just a father to his children. That's your first level. But every one of us as men, once you start having babies, what kind of environment did you bring them in? Well, my home is peaceful. My home is nice. My home is a God-fearing home. Praise God. What's happening next door? What's happening across the street? What's happening in the playground where your son or your daughter got to go and play? What's happening in the school? Don't tell me you're a good father and you don't have any community interest, no community concern. Because once you provide a child with life, then you got to look at all aspects of life and become intimately involved with the development and nurturing of that.
All right, that was a little quick bit from Minister Farrakhan. Let's come back and discuss it. First, I know as me growing up, I was never taught that. I never knew anything about that until I heard the minister say it. But has anybody on the panel been taught that when they were a child? Doc, who taught you that?
My parents, my grandparents. Coming from a background where, like you've heard me talk about going 500-600 times to the prison where they filmed the Shawshank Redemption. That's my hometown. My uncles were incarcerated there, and it's like one of the things I can tell you for sure is that when a person goes and does time, their spouse does time, their family does the time, their children do the time. So it's like my cousin. I have a cousin, my cousin Bakari. He's the closest male full cousin that I had. Well, his father, was the bank robber, But come come Christmas, come birthdays and what have you, our family made sure that Bakari had a new bike. Our family made sure that that this and that was going on. Um, I've from my beginning, I learned sort of that moment in when Richard Pryor was talking about meeting the African. And the African asked him who he was, and Richard Pryor says he was embarrassed because he didn't know how to answer. And the African points at him and he says, "I am we." And so that has kind of been my marching orders. I don't know selfishness. I don't know withholding anything back from anyone if they truly need it. I have a homeboy right now who is in many ways destitute in Philly. He's up in Philly right now, and I make it instead of and I hope Pastor West hear this and they give me full membership at some point instead of tithing all that money. I got that brother written down almost as if he's a bill for me, and I send him money on a biweekly basis. So he does a bi-monthly basis so that he gets some of it, and then 2 weeks later he gets another part of it. Raised in a poor to working class community, it was not uncommon for us to know that there were people who were not eating. My grandfather had an asphalt business that employed probably about 12 men, and that was the only source of income that these men had to take care of their family. And these were men who were what we would refer to as hardcore unemployables. I can remember one of them, Lil Roosevelt, when he got his driver's license. Roosevelt was probably 40, you know, and it was the first time that I'd ever come across an adult person who could not read. And I remember that he had to take his driver's test to get the permit, the written part or what have you. They did it via tape recorder audio. I had never seen or heard of that before, and I'm a person who understands that people arrive here in all different situations and circumstances, and the helping of each other is the rent that we pay to be on this rock. And there's nothing more for me, there's nothing more fulfilling and rewarding than to know that I helped somebody, and I made that load a little lighter, because Lord knows there have been times when people have had to carry me. It's the reason why no one can ever say to me that all black women ain't shit. You can't say that to me because of my aunts and the sisters that I know who literally carried me um, through the rough part of my life. We talk about Jesus carrying me. Now it was black women that carried my black ass, and it's one of the reasons why it breaks my heart to have any discord with black women, to to see black women who have been so abused and so damaged that they can't cooperate with black men because they feel as if the other shoe is going to fall at some point. And why wouldn't they? Because that's been their experience.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Minister also touched on, he said that, the first level is taking care of your children. Second level is your duty to community. Do you believe it's only just those two levels, or are there more levels?
Yeah, I mean, that second level of community, but what we would have to define is, who do you consider your community? I got multiple communities going on. My job, I work at a HBCU. My students are a big part of my community, and that community extends. I have, and I'm not a very social person, but I got, through my service to them, I got a wide um, array of individuals I can call upon. that I can put you in in contact with, from attorneys to now judges, to cops, fire people, social workers, what have you. So we have to realize that if our community is not doing well, and this ties back to what you were talking about in Philly, if our communities are not doing well, you could very well see yourself living in a geographically familiar yet foreign land because people are desperate and people are hungry. And we haven't done a good job within our community. And I'm sure that Sister Cassie will agree with this. Our poverty is flowing directly from the fact that we don't know how to circulate our dollar. And I think that one of the things that we need to really teach our people is the principle of socially responsible individualism. No one's telling you to not make money. No one's telling you not to be comfortable in where you are. But at the same time, we need you to be socially responsible in regards to doing it. And that fire that y'all got in y'all belly for the Palestinians, for Israel, for whoever, bring that shit home. Bring that shit home. And stand with us for something that is worth standing for. We often talk about when you're talking about politics, what's it? Think nationally, but act locally. Well, you need to be acting locally within your community. You need to be able to just say hi to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's you don't know, especially with our children. You don't know what type of hell our children are living through because their parents have lived through a hell that they're sort of bequeathing them in the same way that white folk bequeath to their children positive professional opportunities. And I yield, brother.
Definitely. Thank you, Doc. Sister Cassidy, what say you?
Well, I wasn't taught that by my mom, but that was something that I learned growing up and being an adult. So I began to pass that down to my kids, my granddaughter. I believe in sowing seeds for my children. So everything that I do for somebody else, it's for my grandchildren, for my lineage, my children. So I have students where I know that they need something. I don't hesitate to help. If I can, I help. I've been to other countries and I've blessed people because when I'm blessing them, I'm not looking for it to come back just to me. I'm looking for it to come back to my lineage. Okay. I believe in sowing seeds. I believe in you reaping what you sow. And sometimes you don't get it, but your children's children get it because that's what the word says. So I do believe that even with the foundation that I have is sowing seeds to help felons to be able to get them on their feet, to get them the training that they need that sometimes they had got from the jail and come out and can't even use it out here, but you can use it and get paid 5 cents. That's sad. If they went to jail for 20 years, why is their names not cleared? That's my issue. I don't understand that. So my thing is if I can help, then let's help my community. Anytime in the white folk, because I have a foundation, but it's set up a certain way. Okay, I'm not gonna turn you down, but I'm gonna help mine first. You understand what I'm saying? So just like they do, okay, they say it's for everybody, but I see a whole lot of theirs getting what. Okay, and I may see none of ours get anything, but it's okay because we don't make a fuss about it, But we already know what it is. It's an unsaid, right? But we have to understand that even as adults now, we're sowing seeds for our lineage. Okay. So be very careful the seeds that you sow. The seeds that you sow, they need to be good seeds because my daughter travels. Okay. I need to make sure that when she travels, if she needs something, that door is open for her. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've opened it here. So it's a lineage door. So every time I'm doing something I'm always thinking about my lineage. And I rest my mic.
Awesome. What do you think about the thing where the minister was saying that there's levels to fatherhood, where the first level is your children, second level is your community? Is there a third level? in your understanding? You think
Well, I
there's a
always
third
think
or
of the first
fourth?
level is God. I believe that that's my first level. That's the Father's first level. Because
Mhm.
if he got it from the Father, then it's going to trickle down. Then he's going to
Mhm.
understand how to give it to his wife and give it to his children and then the community in that order. I believe it comes
Mhm.
to the wife, then the children, then the community. But home has got to be taken care of first. I can't go out here and bless a homeless man and my house
Mhm.
is lacking. Okay. I need to make
Mhm.
sure that it's enough over here that this is taken care of, and then I'm gonna help over there. But I do believe in the community, but they have to look like me. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
But I believe the order is God first for the father, then the wife, then the kids
Mhm.
in that order.
And now you said you learned this on your as you were growing
Yes,
up.
I did.
Um, at what age did you learn it, and what made it to be a big impact on you that you understood that you have to teach this to your children?
Well, because growing up, even growing up, I was an only child, but um, and it was different things that being product of rape. My mom, my dad wasn't there, and just wanting to, just me going through a hardship, and I think it was more or less in my 20s. I think
Mm.
when you really start going through yourself stuff yourself, and I began to, and then I had grew up in the church. Really, that's where it started. I grew up in the church, so it was always there, to give, but that tithing thing. So for my tithing, it was me giving to somebody else that needed it, not my pastor. Okay, I'm like, well, if I can give it to the pastor, I can give it to the homeless man, but I had to be led. So and then they said, oh, you're sowing seeds. So it was the foundation. I think that that's where it came from. In my 20s, you always heard it, and then I just started doing it because I wanted to see the blessing come back to me. I was being selfish. I wanted to see, okay, if I give this, let me see how it's gonna come back to me. So that's where I started. I started being, it was more selfish than anything else, but then it still worked no matter what. So then I said, oh, okay, if I can do this for me, I can do this for my family, my children. Started teaching them how to give. Okay. And I began to see it come back to them. Even by me giving out, it would come back to them. They say, oh, come home with some great stories, things that was really happening to them. And I'm like, wow, this really helps. So that's why I kept doing it, because I saw the increase from it. And it works. It wasn't necessarily me giving to a church. It was me giving to people that really needed it.
Mm. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Sister Cassie. And last question. Um, in Cassie Land, how would you implement that in the teaching of the citizens there?
Because I would set up foundations even in Cassie Land. I would set up things for them to see it, high school wise. Okay, I'm going to teach that because I think it has to be taught. It has to be something that's taught, because a lot of people just don't know. Because at first I didn't know, and my mom wasn't doing it. I didn't see her doing it. I didn't see my aunts doing it. I didn't see, but I was taught that. So, but I didn't understand why nobody was doing it. So my thing is, it has to be taught, and I would start teaching it even in schools, in the middle schools. In Cassie Land, I'm going to teach you how to take care of self first. I'm going to teach you how to take care of our culture first. I'm going to teach you how to
Mhm.
grow, your finances, so that you'll be able to bless other people. That's going to happen first in your home. I don't believe in giving it out to somebody else when you don't have, you don't have yours stored up. Let me show you how to store yours up. Then you'll be able to bless other people. Okay. Other times, and I'm gonna also say this: even me growing, growing. Okay. Even in the midst of growing, you can still give it out, but you're still not going to give out more than you've grown. I've seen some people give it all out, and then they
Mm.
don't even have enough to take care of their families. No, I don't believe
Mm.
I don't believe in doing it that way. Now, if that's the way you do it, that's the way you do it. But for me, I believe that if I have enough, we all have enough. If I'm blessed, you blessed. But I can't bless you with something I don't have. So I'm going to educate you to be able to do that. I'm going to teach you how to build, how to fish. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it for you. That's how you learn. You teach yours. You teach yours, and you teach another teach. So it grows. But we have to start educating us first, whether it's in elementary school or middle school. It has to be taught in the education system first. That's what I believe. Then you begin to teach it to other adults. Then they begin to see it. Okay.
Mhm. Definitely. Thank you, Sister Cassie. Brother Isaiah. What say you?
I'm going to say what my mother said in her last breath of life. That she had always told me since I was a little boy. Both parents, but I lost my father early at the age of about 15. But it's really simple, and it makes sense now that I'm older. I can see it better. Stay focused, stay out of trouble, and make good choices. If you just do those two, three things, righteousness will follow you throughout all the days of your life. And I think that's what people want. You're going to make mistakes. That's just part of life. And you're going to have problems. That's just part of life. But it's not going to be such an enormous amount of problems that you can't overcome it because you already got the solution in hand. If your parents were spending time with you and telling you, what to do, what not to do, how to do it, don't associate with this person, that person. Stick to the people that you want to be around, who you see uh, that are giving you uh, the seeds of life to help you grow and to be where you want to be. So, be honest. When I met John Rogers, who's the founder of Aerial Capital Management, I did what my mother told me. Pray first and stay on that prayer, and it will manifest itself to you. I prayed one day. I said, I got like $600-700. I was like 16, something like 16, 17, somewhere around there. I don't know. I got like $700. I said, God, show me somebody, bring somebody into my life that can help me to be where I want to be, financially stable and without having to really work for any money and allow me to understand how to make money. Soon as I said that, the very next day, I'm getting into the elevator with this black guy, and something told me, the spirit moved me, I guess. God moved me, the universe moved me, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. I don't give a damn how you say it. And I asked the guy, and I don't know the guy. But something in my spirit told me this is the guy. Your answers are being answered. I mean, your questions are being answered. And I asked him, hey man, what's your name? I'm just talking in general. And I said, my name is Isaiah. His name is John. And he told me, he just graduated from Princeton and all that. And he said he worked for a stockbroker. I said, do you know anything about, stock? I just dawned on me. And he said, yeah, sure. He didn't ask me for the money. He's like, give me the money right now and I'll invest it for you. He said, come on down. This is how I know it was legitimate. Come on down on LaSalle or wherever it was, and open up your brokerage account with her and deposit the money, and I'll show you. The very first stock, Muhammad, I bought was Cubic Corp. I would never forget. Cubic Corporation. It was at about $16. And it took about a month and a half to go from $16 to $45. I said, this is it. This is it. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts. I never looked back. I stayed with that brother. Do you understand me? And I made it to the point where I was comfortable. And now the next thing I know, the next thing I want to be is for Global Capital to be the biggest global capital venture firm in the world. And believe me, I am on that path. I don't question. I walk by faith, not by sight. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I give no fuck about what I'm saying. I care about my vision being tunnel. And when you are so focused, the people that you need to come into your life to help you to get to where you want to be are going to show up. You don't hear me, feel it. You are manifesting things into existence 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just got up and got me a cup of coffee. I got me a cup of juice, a cup of water. That's manifesting, motherfucker. No matter how small it is. But when you start talking about billions of dollars, hundreds, millions of dollars, it's a different thing. But the dynamic is still the same. You got to change the water from which you are in right now to where you want to be. You got to change the water to where you are to where you want to be and swim with the big dogs, baby. I don't give a damn how small of a dog you are. You got to be fed more. Become a big dog. A big player. Got the world is yours if you want it. There's nothing in this world that you cannot have if you dream it big enough. But you first got to believe in you and where you want to be and where you are. Don't look at where you are. Look at where you want to be. And things will come into existence and people will come into existence in your life to get to where you want to be. And you know why? The Amazon founder, what's his name? Jeff Bezos? Is so rich. You know why? It's not because he started Amazon, it's because he went public, giving the opportunity for other people to invest in his company and buy shares in it. $1,000 in his investment in the beginning in the 1990s, I think it was, somewhere around there. To this very day, it would be $15 million.
Wow.
That's because it's splitting 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 1. They just did a 10 for 1 stock split. The last stock split they did. No, I'm sorry. 20 for every one share, you got 20 shares. They did a 20 for 1 stock split. So that's the reason why it went from damn near $4,000 down to $100 and something now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you got to take the $4,000 price divided by 20 now to get you. I'm sorry, 10, 4, 2. Yeah, that'd be about $200 something. But it might have gone down in the sense, but it's like $150 something now. But the idea is that you got to put your money where it will work for you. Money will work for you harder than you will ever work for it. That's the secret to the book that I mentioned, that I put in the chat, The Rich and the Super Rich. You got to go from working to mind the little pond, the little fish bowl, where people are, I got to go to work. I'll be there at 8 o'clock. I get off at 4. Or I get off at 5. Or if I put in more hours, I get off at 12 o'clock midnight. But the idea is that you got to work, you got to make the money. Because you're just like a little corporation and people are paying you. But if you're fucking up the money with cigarettes, with lottery tickets, with some other bullshit and women, that was my problem too. I got my Achilles heel. You feel what I'm saying? But you got to have your mind right, your mind set. So when you have and begin to see opportunity, because opportunity will never come to you, you must get off your fucking ass and look for them. And that's why I say LVGI is the best motherfucking stock you can buy right now. Because it's at 0.00005. By the end of the year, it'll be $1 or more. So $500 can get you a million shares. Remember this conversation today, motherfucker. Today, the ticker symbol is L as in Larry, V as in Victor, G as in girl, I as in Illinois. You're hearing it from me. $500 to get your million shares, and depending on whatever price it is that you sell it at. If you sell it at 50 cents, that's $500,000. You had to took $500 and turned it into $500,000. If it go to $1, that's $1 million. If you invested $500, you go to $1 million and you sell out. Motherfucker, you can write a book. How I turned $500 into $1 million. All kind of motherfucking doors open. All kind of fucking doors open for your motherfucking cheap ass. Like my cheap ass. But I'm telling you, the opportunities are there. There's a what is going on right now with LBJ? All right, this is the biggest thing. Marijuana is going to be nationalized, federalized. I'm sorry, not nationalized, federalized. All right, where it becomes illegal. There's a brother who's selling crack legally now. But marijuana is going to be legalized. You know what the fuck that means? LBGI is now buying the number one marijuana lab in the nation. And they're going to buy out all the other ones to make it the number one marijuana laboratory in America, if not the world. And then they expand. Do you see the bigger picture? Do you fucking see the bigger picture? Don't concentrate on where you're at. Oh, I got to hold on to this $500. I got to hold on to this $100. I got to hold on to this $50. Motherfucker. If you all you got is $50, motherfucker. $100 or $5 get you a million. I'll find 1/20 of that. That's like 150,000 shares. $50 can get you about 80,000 shares, motherfucker. That's all you got. Then invest in that. Just don't go out and get you a crack pipe. Whatever the fuck it is that you're smoking in. Tobacco, alcohol, lottery ticket. Motherfucker. The lotto, you ain't gonna win. It's like one chance out of 100 million, 150 million. That means you gotta pay a lot. You gotta buy the lottery ticket 150 million times before you win. Before you win, motherfucker. It's against you. But if you buy a stock, the chances of it going up is 50%, and the chances of you going it down is 50%. But if you do your research, the chances of it going up is like 90 or more. There's nothing guaranteed in this world but death and dying. But I can guarantee you, man. Look, I went into I took my car years ago, and some told me to go into this place and get this automobile starter. You know what I mean? And some told me to go in there, and I listened. You gotta listen to your voice. That's God telling you to go somewhere. And sit your black head down and do what God telling you to do. The spirit. I went that motherfucker. I sat my ass down, waiting for my car to get done. You know what I mean? There's a magazine there. I picked it up. It flipped to the right page. Do you know what that was? XMSR, XM satellite radio. Nobody didn't hear about it. Nobody didn't know about it. It meant that you can listen to the radio, your favorite dial, your favorite station, going from one end of the country to the other without having to worry about changing your dial to listen to this and listen to that. It stayed there. That was never done before. That was something new. That was a game changer. Like Netflix with the one that everybody was talking about, Blockbuster. I invested into that company. It was like $2 and something. It went to $25. 10 times within 8 months. But the idea got in before everybody else knew about it. You got to get in at the ground floor. You don't wait until it's $10. Oh yeah, okay, it was good. I'm gonna get in right now.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. But it ain't hard. Don't make it hard now. You know, don't make it hard because it's not hard. Money will work. The number one rule. Money will work for you harder for you than you will ever work for it. It don't get tired. It makes babies after. I don't have to work for no motherfucker.
Okay, that's
I ain't trying to. I want more people to be able to see. Right. There's only 3 ways you can make money: real estate, starting your own business with a product or service, and the stock market and its associated ways. Commodity, futures, options, you name it. That's it. If you selling drugs, that's a business, motherfucker. That's a business. And you got to clean your customer.
All right.
So my thing is, and I bless my mother every day because she is my ancestor now. Because when I pay homage to you, homage to her, and to you, I think y'all are about 30 years older than me. But seriously, when you are blessing your ancestor, whether thousands of years ago or recent, you're going to get the benefits and the blessing. This is our problem. We're not paying attention, following these motherfuckers, and doing everything that these demonic, satanic motherfuckers do. And the last thing I want you to do, if you can, please, but Muhammad, go to your WhatsApp and play that last video I just put. No, not the last one. Let me say, it's up to the last one, above the last one with George Galloway. I'm going to show you how evil these motherfuckers are. And if we continue to follow these motherfuckers, we're going down the same goddamn drain. So, yeah, please play that if you can, brother Muhammad. Brother Muhammad.
Okay. And you said that's the last one?
So if this don't prove to you that white folks ain't shit, I don't know what will. They're nasty, they're disgusting, they are the scum of humanity. No, the one before that, the one above it. That's a good one too, but the one above it. That one, yeah, that one. George Galloway. Now they butt naked. They are butt naked in Germany, in America, where the fuck they at? And this is the gay pride bullshit that they want us to follow. They want us to accept. They want it to be normalized and little kids to be exposed to this shit. They got books talking about gay pride and sucking little boy dick and shit. I'm just keeping it real. These are kids that are being exposed to this bullshit. White folks, they are psychotic, psychopathic, sociopathic motherfuckers. They ain't shit.
And we know this, and we still allow them to educate our children.
Yes, that's
our fault.
You are hitting it right on the motherfucking head. Step off these motherfuckers and leave them alone. Let them do what they do best. Right. Destroying themselves. Let them go.
That's why separation is key right here. Then that way you can't bring that to Cassie Land. That right there ain't coming across to the gate. Because that'll get shot at the gate. You don't bring that stuff over there.
And look, they're having sex with animals and brothels and throughout Europe.
Absolutely.
It's not something I'm making up.
That's what's coming here.
That's fucking shit.
It's coming.
And they're eating each other's shit and drinking each other's piss in a sexual group and eating and vomiting it back up and eating it and drinking it again.
But they told you they're coming after your children.
Shit.
They say they coming after our straight men too. I'm just
saying,
y'all be ready.
Yeah, they're already out. It's just a matter of us going along to get along to do the same thing. Sexy Red and all the people who are like that. Man, at one point we were producing music that meant something.
Mm-hmm. They stopped there real quick, didn't they?
Yeah, and I just seen an African rapper who was on mute. Yeah, what the fuck is this shit? There ain't no motherfucking words no more. Nothing. Motherfucker, what are you? What happened? White folks done got all up in that shit, and we just allowing it to happen. And we keep on keeping on going in the direction, we're going ahead.
2/3 gonna die.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For real. For real. For real.
We're
But
done.
I throw it back at you, Brother Mom.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Isaiah. We're going to go ahead and move to closing comments. We just hit that 3 hours and 4 minute mark. So we're going to go ahead and move to closing comments. Sister Cassie, you would like to go first?
Woo, okay, had to get us unmuted. Okay, wow, closing comments. Well, I hope, you know what? I hope people not even on the chat, I hope not just people that's in the chat, but people that's going to come and see this video later. I hope they understand how important it is for our Black men, our families. I hope they know how important it is. Even the women that I'm seeing with dads. Okay, I see a lot of rebellion with them. And I talked to one young lady the other day, and her dad, came, and her dad and I were talking, and she had an issue with her dad. And I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I said, just having the presence of your dad, he has stopped you from going through a lot of crazy stuff. And she can vouch for that. She was even saying she's 18, and she said, yeah, just my dad being around kept me out of a lot of stuff. And I said, you are very blessed just by having your dad, because a lot of Black women don't have their fathers. They don't have a clue as far as what you're going through right here. And and she's rebelling against it. And, her dad's an amazing person. And I see the man she's dating, and I'm like, you're doing that out of rebellion, but you're going to hurt yourself. So I think we need to take this a little bit deeper. Why is it that I see a lot of young women who have dads in their lives going totally opposite of as far as the man that they're drawn to themselves? What's going on in them that's allowing that to happen for you to be, drawing something totally different than what you grew up with? That's, that to me is just mind blowing, because I don't understand that. But I want our dads to understand that it's so important for you to be in the homes. It's so important, not just for you to be in the homes, but for you to do the work, for you to recognize your children's gifts, for you to operate as that father, that protector, that provider, that man that's going to pat that son on the back and say, son, I'm proud of you. Son, I love you. Words mean everything to kids. Go and see their football team game sometimes. Go outside and walk around in the yard with them and just, praying for your family, praying around your home, praying for your home, praying for your children. That father's prayer means so much. And people don't understand how important it is for us to have that connection to the universe, whatever you call them, God, Jesus, universe, whatever. That connection is so important, because if you don't have that connection, you have absolutely nothing. You got to have that connection first. Then it's the father, then it's the mom, then it's the kids. When you get that father back in the home, and men, we need you back in your places. We need you to take your rightful places, because without you there, you have a house that's out of order, a society that's out of order. We can see the society now. It's out of order because our men, you're looking at other wild, strange women that you ain't got no business dating. We ain't even talk about that. We ain't even hit on that part. You dating a whole animal deity. Okay, you sleeping with this animal deity. You sleeping and having baby with a woman that don't wash her behind. They don't even I'm just saying, we already know you ain't washing your hands, you ain't washing nothing else. Okay. But these are women that you've chosen to sleep with, women that lick their dogs in the mouth, women that have sex with their dogs, and you've chosen these women over your sisters. Shame on you. You chose sickness and death over your queens. Shame on you. And it's coming back. You're gonna regret every bit of that. Trust and believe me. Ain't nothing good coming out of you dating a white woman. Ain't nothing good coming out of those children that you've mixed and mingled with. Ain't nothing good coming out of that. I rest my mic.
All right. Thank you, Sister Cassie. Doc, you there?
Yes, sir.
You want to give your closing comments?
Just glad to be here, man. We had a couple days that we missed, through the week and what have you. Just glad to be amongst family, man, amongst like-minded people. Wishing everybody a great week. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, Doc. Brother Isaiah, closing comments?
Stay black, stay black, stay black. And that's all you can do. Mind your business and put the business on your mind. Don't believe in what other people are trying to tell you that you can't do something. You can, but the can is all inclusive in the will. Where there's a will, there's a way. Anybody can do something or anything, but will you do it? Do you have the will to overcome whatever you need to overcome? Bad credit, whatever the case may be. But you got to put your foot down. You got to be serious. You got to be focused. You got to stay your ass out of trouble and make good choices. And look for opportunities, motherfucker, because they ain't going to be looking for you. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't understand that your mentality, your positive mindset brings all the positive things to you. A money mindset will bring you money. There was a brother in Detroit. He was broken, busted, and disgusted, but now he's a millionaire because he started out in the real estate. That's his thing. Now this brother's making game in Detroit. A lot of businesses who start from zero. Ain't no Amazon starting in the 200 level. Amazon started at ground one. It's slowly, but over time, they Jeff Bezos and his team or whoever reached where they wanted to reach and got there because they stayed focused. You attract money with other like-minded people. If all you got is $200, find another person with $200. That's $400. Another money with $200. That's $600. Four sisters started out with $25,000 apiece, $100,000. Now it's over $1 billion. Four sisters. You can look that up on Google. How four sisters started out with $100,000 and turned it into $500,000. I'm sure it's in the billions now. So don't fucking tell me that you can't do it. The reason why you say you can't do it because you don't know how to do it. That's the problem. When you know how to tie your shoes, motherfucker, you just bend over and tie them, motherfucker. You don't worry about what somebody says. Oh, Isaiah, you'll never be able to tie your shoes. You don't know how to do that. And yeah, I do. Watch me. It's just that fucking simple. Don't make life hard. It's not. We're all born. We're all going to die. But in between those two extreme points, live, love, laugh, and learn. And enjoy this life. Because when your fucking eyes are closed, that's it. What will you leave behind for your kids? Money is great. But you got to be able to leave wisdom and knowledge and understanding behind for them as to how they want to do what they want to do and to achieve it. That's the point of a parent, of a father, of a mother, of a family, of a community, of a nation that is righteous and just. We ain't got that in America. We ain't got that nowhere because these scallywag ass tail-growing bitches and bastards are running the motherfucker. But don't worry. Be happy because their ass is on the way out. The universe is making its cleaning assignment. And finally, the death certificate for these motherfuckers has been signed already. It has been signed by the hand of karma. Signed, sealed, and delivered. And their ass is getting out of here. And Trump can't save them. I throw it back to you.
All right, thank you. I want to just share this last thing really quick. We opened the program talking about this, and so now I find another independent news article about it, and this is from MSNBC. They say Russia blames U.S. for Ukrainian strike that killed at least 5 and injured dozens in Crimea. So Russia blames America for allowing them to use American weapons to strike in Russia. And where you have now, you have the Russian ships down, the submarine and another craft down there in Cuba, where when Kennedy was around, he wouldn't have allowed that to happen. America at one point was safe from any mainland damage, but if Putin decides to attack America with the weapons that he got off of Cuba, it's they have that opportunity to do now. And so with the House of Representatives passing a bill to mandatory draft our children from 18 to 26 within the military, and the bill is on its way to the Senate, and we'll see what happens there. But America is getting geared up and ready for war. This war is not a war for us. World War I wasn't a war for us. World War II wasn't a war for us. And this war right here ain't a war for us. And so, there's some questions that have to be answered, because if your child get that letter from Uncle Sam to say, hey, you need to report, you got to have an answer. And I hope you will tell them that your child is a conscientious objector, that that's not our fight, that's not our war. Malcolm X said, and I'll say this closing here, Malcolm X said when he went to the recruiting station, because he got his letter in the mail, he said, you gonna give me a real gun? And he said, yeah, we're gonna give you a real gun. He said, and you gonna give me real bullets? He said, yeah, we're gonna give you real bullets too.
Oh, bring it on.
That I can shoot. Yes, you can shoot.
Yep.
He says, well, as soon as you give it to me, I'm gonna kill all of you that I can.
Every last one. Yep. That's
every last one. And they told him, get your ass the hell up on out of here. And he didn't have to go serve.
Exactly what you tell him.
Exactly. That thing ain't a place where you want to be. It's not a place where you want to be. Let the Ukrainians die for the Ukrainians. But we don't need that. We don't need that. That's not our thing. That's not our time. Make sure that you understand the time and what must be done. You want to save your life, tell Uncle Sam to go to hell, because he has never been a good uncle to us. We don't have a damn thing to fight for. And that's what we got to understand, and that's what we got to know for sure. So love you, family. We thank you all for staying with us this 3 hours and 16 minutes, but we've been missing. But we got to come back and hit it again. Back on our regular schedule. Well, as we always say, you kill the nigga in you, I'm going to kill the nigga in me. And our God will reign supreme. We are black first. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Stay black. Stay black. Stay black. Shalom. And as Brother Isaiah says, stay black.
You better get the message and get it straight. You're gonna need some bridge work. It's simple as that. Because we're living in judgment. We're living in implementation.